Chapter 2101 Fang Yuan makes a transaction. Chapter 2101, Fang Yuan makes a transaction. Wu Yang tried to stay calm as he exchanged some words with Mushroom and Gu Immortal Ke Shin Hong. So Fang Yuan wants my Shengtian true inheritance, but he has not discovered Hu Land. After some probing, the worry in his heart was finally lifted. The truth was, as long as Kong Ritian did not expose this secret personally, there was only a slight possibility that Hu Land would be discovered by anyone else other than Wu Clan. Back then, Kong Ritian and the rest used Hu Land to escape, no other Gu Immortal saw them. After Kong Ritian and the rest escaped, no news of them had emerged. Thus, outsiders like Fang Yuan would think that Kong Ritian is in my hands. Thus, he came to me for Shengtian true inheritance. Wu Yang thought, my actions earlier were not good enough. I should have announced immediately that Kong Ritian was captured by my Wu Clan. Even though that was not true, if Wu Clan publicized that, Kong Ritian would not come out to refute him anyway. If Kong Ritian exposed himself, the Gu Immortals that were after Shengtian true inheritance would charge towards him like jackals, they would tear his weak little body to shreds. If Kong Ritian hears such an announcement from my Wu Clan, he will also understand our motive. Keeping Hu Land a secret will also be ensuring his safety, he will not reject it. Wu Yang had another plan, he could make up for his previous mistake. Hu Land was a secluded domain of heaven and earth, it had immense value, if Wu Clan wanted to own it, he would need to do it in secret. I can let you have Shengtian true inheritance. Wu Yang rapidly transmitted and replied Ke Shin Hong. For Hu Land, giving up Shengtian true inheritance was a wise decision. Moreover, this Shengtian true inheritance had just been obtained by Wu Clan, it had contents but not immortal Gu. The immortal Gu and immortal essence were still in Kong Ritian's hands. Ke Shin Hong was slightly stunned. Wu Yang agreed so readily, it was out of his expectations. He was a Gu immortal expert of Mushroom in Paradise. After Lu Weiyin submitted to Fang Yuan along with the entire paradise, he became Fang Yuan's subordinate. This was the first mission that Fang Yuan gave him. When Ke Shin Hong received this mission, he felt great internal pressure. He had heard of Wu Yang's name long ago. Along the way, he was thinking of what to do if Wu Yang rejected or refused to agree with this. To think that he would agree so easily after they met. I finally understand the might and prestige of my lord now. Ke Shin Hong sighed internally, filled with deep emotions. Ke Shin Hong added, Lord Wu Yang, my lord is willing to pay for the entire Shengtian true inheritance. It was Wu Yang's turn to be stunned. Hearing Ke Shin Hong's words, it seemed like Fang Yuan wanted a fair trade. He was not going to extort or snatch it by force. Wu Yang quickly reacted, he listed his condition. Ke Shin Hong frowned slightly, because Wu Yang wanted a rank 9 wind path immortal material, it was quite rare in the market. Ke Shin Hong could not decide this alone, he quickly communicated with Fang Yuan. After receiving an answer, Ke Shin Hong started to smile again as he looked at Wu Yang. Using Treasure Yellow Heaven, this transaction was quickly completed. Fang Yuan obtained the full details of Shengtian true inheritance, while Wu Yang obtained a rank 9 wind path immortal material. Fang Yuan has a large number of grotto heavens from the two heavens, it is not strange that he has rare immortal materials. But he really went ahead to transact with me. Surprisingly getting a rank 9 wind path immortal material, Wu Yang's preparatory work for refining 8-faced prestige wind immortal Gu achieved a significant breakthrough. But Wu Yang could not be happy. Fang Yuan had the battle strength to snatch Shengtian true inheritance, but he did not do that. He only sent a Mushroom and Gu Immortal and expressed his sincerity in making a fair trade. Afterwards, he held his word and paid with a rank 9 wind path immortal material. Fang Yuan is truly amazing. Wu Yang sighed deeply. As the saying goes, an expert swimmer would eventually drown, an expert combatant would die in battle. Relying on one's specialty without possessing other skills was a dangerous thing. Once people started to rely on something, they would unknowingly stay within their comfort zone, they would develop a mental pattern. When they encounter problems, they would use their specialty trait to resolve the issues. As time passes, all of their other methods and perspectives would vanish. Eventually, they would face the greatest predicament of their lives, it might be their end. But Fang Yuan did not do that. He had great battle strength and could snatch the true inheritance, but if he did that, he would waste a lot of time and energy, there was even a chance of failing. After all, the information could be erased. But using this transaction, Fang Yuan easily obtained Shengtian true inheritance without a hitch. Wu Yang analyzed, this can mean at least two things. Firstly, Fang Yuan has a lot of immortal materials, one rank 9 wind path immortal material is not important in his eyes. Secondly, even though he is the #1 person in the world, he still keeps his composure and scheming mind, he does not overly rely on his strength. Sigh, it would have been great if I managed to kill him back then. Fang Yuan has already grown fully, with such a nature, he is too terrifying. When Sheng Tian True Inheritance's transaction ended, Fang Yuan's main body was already in Western Desert. Western Desert, Fang Clan's headquarters. Fang Clan's supreme elders were almost fully gathered, they stared at Fang Yuan like he was a fatal enemy. Everyone, don't be too nervous, really, I came here to make a transaction with Fang Clan. Fang Yuan smiled. But Fang Clan's immortals felt huge pressure weighing on them. Fang Clan's first supreme elder Fang Gong said, "Is it our fortune or misfortune to have received your attention?" "Everyone, we have quite the relationship actually." Fang Yuan started to activate his killer move. As the aura leaked, all of Fang Clan's GU immortals stood up from their seats, they quickly activated their immortal GU, a battle was about to start. "Fang Yuan, what are you doing? This is our Fang Clan's headquarters. Earlier when we were outside, you said you wanted to make a transaction, if you attack now, who will believe your words in the future?" Fang Clan's GU immortals called out with intense nervousness. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. "If I wanted to harm you, I could have attacked from the start, can your Fang Clan stop me?" As he said so, his appearance changed. Fang Clan's GU immortals were shocked. Suan Bu Jin. Fang Yuan activated familiar face again, changing into another appearance. Fang Clan's GU immortals saw Fang Yuan's appearance, they became shocked again. Fang Dichong. Fang Yun frowned, he was the adopted son of Fang Dichong, seeing Fang Yuan's transformation, he felt repulsed. "Lord Fang Yuan, did you come all the way to our clan just for this display of transformations to mock us?" Fang Yuan looked at Fang Yun, saying with deep meaning, "Yun during this time when I was gone, why didn't you convert to Wisdom Path? Father gave you 3 Wisdom Path Immortal GU and even my Wisdom Path inheritance. Fang Clan has no Wisdom Path GU Immortal at the moment, if you do not take up this responsibility, who will?" You. Fang Yun pointed at Fang Yuan, he stared with wide-opened eyes, filled with shock. The other Fang Clan GU Immortals also had a change of expression. They realized something from his words, they had a guess regarding the truth, the reality of it made them sink into panic. "Indeed, I am Suan Bu Jin, who also became Fang Dichong later on. I have interacted with you guys much more than you think." Fang Yuan looked around as he laughed heartily. Fang Gong's expression was livid, he could not wait anymore, he stood out. "What evidence do you have?" Fang Yuan gave a bunch of evidence to the Fang Clan GU Immortals as he transmitted to Fang Gong, snickering, "Fang Gong, you and Fang Dichong decided to sacrifice Suan Bu Jin to refine Divine Bean Palace, do you really want me to expose it?" Fang Yuan not only had evidence, he even had accurate facts. Fang Clan soon realized the whole story. "So Fang Yuan infiltrated our Fang Clan long ago. He even became our external Supreme Elder. Oh heavens, even our second Supreme Elder Fang Dichong was replaced by him, we did not even notice." After Fang Clan's GU Immortals realized the truth, they all turned pale as cold sweat broke out. It was too terrifying. If not for Fang Yuan's reveal, they would still think that Fang Dichong was currently trapped inside Divine Emperor City. Ever since the Fate War ended, Fang Clan had been trying to negotiate with Heavenly Court to get back their Supreme Elder Fang Dichong. "This means that Divine Bean Palace trapped your clone, while our second Supreme Elder died at your hands." Fang Gong looked at Fang Yuan with a cold gaze. Fang Gong was tall and sturdy, with long white hair and beard spreading around his head like a lion's mane, he had bulging muscles that resembled rocks. Facing the murderer of his second Supreme Elder, if it were any other person, he would have attacked already. But against Fang Yuan, he could only restrain himself. He looked at Fang Yuan with a complex gaze, there was anger and hatred in his eyes, but also helplessness and wariness. Fang Yuan was too strong, his demonic might was unparalleled, his reputation was unmatched, Fang Gong did not dare to make a rash move. Fang Yuan continued, "Saying that Fang Dichong died at my hands is both correct and also wrong. Fang Dichang's body is destroyed but his soul is in my hands, do you want it back?" Back then, to avoid the detection of Soul Lantern GU, Fang Yuan did not kill Fang Dichong, he only separated his body and soul. Fang Dichang's soul was still kept in Fang Yuan's hands. Fang Clan's GU Immortals heard this, they became excited. "Fang Dichang's soul is in your hands. Great, our second Supreme Elder can be saved. No wonder Central Continent has been so vague all this time, so they did not even have our second Supreme Elder in the first place." In the current world, Fate has been destroyed. As long as Fang Dichang's soul is around, if he gets a GU immortal body, he would return to Fang clan again. If this GU immortal body cultivates wisdom path, then after Fang Dichang revives, he will be an immense help to your entire clan. Now tell me, friends from Fang clan, do you want to make a transaction with me? Fang Yuan stated his ultimatum. Fang clan's GU immortals were silent, they looked at Fang Gong. At the crucial moment, only a rank 8 GU immortal like Fang Gong could make the decision. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2102 Going after Tian Nan's true inheritance. Chapter 2102 Going after Tian Nan's true inheritance. The answer to Fang Yuan's question was obvious for Fang clan. Fang Gong nodded as he thought about his words before saying in a solemn tone, "Of course we are willing to transact, but Sir Fang Yuan, what do you want? If your request is too much, or if it exceeds our capability, then..." Fang Yuan waved his hand, interrupting Fang Gong. "Firstly, I need Thieves' Den. Secondly, I need Fang clan to take over Green Ghost Desert and provide me with a vast number of soul cores. What I will give to you is not just Fang Dichang's soul. We can slowly discuss the details later." Fang Yuan gave loose conditions. Fang clan's GU immortals were excited about it but also held suspicions. Fang Yuan seemed to know what they were thinking. "I can easily destroy your entire Fang clan, why would I need to resort to other methods? I'll let you know, I've already done a transaction with Wu Yang. I am not a brutal person, killing is just a method. Unless I have to, I will not use brute strength to satisfy my requirements." Fang clan's immortals were shaken internally. Fang Yuan's words had hidden meaning. He was saying that if they did not satisfy him, he would wage war on them, they would lose terribly and even get wiped out. Fang Gong felt bitter internally. Against this powerful and domineering Fang Yuan, what could he choose? Actually, the moment Fang Yuan showed up, Fang clan no longer had a chance in the matter. Fang clan had to cooperate with Fang Yuan, they had to undergo transactions. Otherwise, death. Heavenly Court could not stop Fang Yuan, Spectral Soul was even killed by him. Even before that, Southern Border's rank 8 GU immortals were also harmed by him. What could the mere Fang clan do against him? Even a super force would be exterminated. Looking at the past, Northern Plains He tribe had been destroyed, replaced by Bai Zhu tribe. There was also Qing clan. Back then, they were incredibly powerful, but after provoking the young Spectral Soul, they were wiped out. Green Ghost Desert was now Qing clan's graveyard, it was right beside Fang clan. Sometimes, one person could wipe out an entire force. In the GU world, strength ruled above all. Thus, even though super forces had deep foundations, they would often be very careful when dealing with lone immortals or demonic immortals, especially when engaging in combat. In order to survive, Fang clan agreed to Fang Yuan's requests. The two sides negotiated for some time before they arrived at a conclusion. Fang Yuan's terms were too relaxed, Fang clan could barely believe this was real. Was this the #1 demon in the world, Gu Fang Yuan? Because reality was much better than their expectations, these Fang clan GU immortals' moods improved drastically. "I said before, I am not someone who enjoys killing brutally, cooperating with me has great benefits. The person who slaughtered his clan, killed all the GU immortals in Heifan Grotto Heaven. Participated in the Dongfang tribe incident, partially accountable for Snowy Mountain Blessed Land's destruction, annexed his allies in Langya sect and the variant humans, destroyed 88 Truyong building, captured Southern Border's Righteous Path GU immortals, killed GU immortals from all the 5 regions and 2 heavens, participated in Heavenly Court's climactic battle, and the one who slaughtered Spectral Soul, Fang Yuan, said with an earnest expression." Fang clan's GU immortals had twitching eyelids as they quickly agreed with him. "Lord Fang Yuan is right. Working with Lord Fang Yuan is our clan's greatest blessing. Actually, we know about your circumstances back then, Lord Fang Yuan, Heavenly Court was simply too much of a bully." Fang clan's GU immortals uttered words that seemed to be their heartfelt feelings, they showed no signs of insincerity. Fang Yun and Fang Leng were still too young, they remained silent. "If Lord Fang Yuan is interested in creating a clan, my Fang clan will do our best to help you." Fang Gong ended the conversation with a promise that held great meaning. Fang Yuan looked at him with a deep gaze before leaving. At the next moment, he activated a killer move and vanished from everyone's sight. Fang Gong tried to induce Fang Yuan into creating a clan, it was for the sake of Fang clan. If their secret transaction was exposed in the future, Fang clan would be in a passive spot, their reputation would fall, they might even get attacked by other super forces. But if Fang Yuan creates a clan, he would go from the demonic path to the righteous path. By then, if this transaction was exposed, Fang clan would only face some criticism. GU masters and GU immortals who were lone and demonic cultivators could convert their statuses into members of the righteous path. Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu was one such example. If a demonic or lone cultivator had enough battle strength to make the righteous path forces wary, they would not want to fight. When these GU cultivators create their clan, if they were adept at dealing with the surroundings forces to create beneficial relationships, they might reach a certain agreement and balance, they would become part of the righteous path. The truth was, many super forces in history, be they in Western Desert, Eastern Sea, or Southern Border, involved such cases. Fang Yuan's transaction with Fang clan made Fang Gong realize that Fang Yuan was someone with such political view and ability. If a strong demonic cultivator stops focusing on fighting or killing, he would act like a righteous path member, he would be able to change his status. It is a pity that is not my goal. Fang Yuan smiled lightly to himself. In the 500 years of his previous life, he created the Blood-Wing Demon sect. At its peak, there were 10,000 members. He learned of the true essence of strength at that time. In this world, a person's strength can surpass an entire organization's. Any sort of organization was just icing on the cake. Only when an individual had high battle strength would they truly be strong. Even the number one super force, Heavenly Court, had to rely on venerable methods to survive at the moment of crisis. Otherwise, it would have been destroyed already. Thieves' Den. Fang Yuan started his closed cultivation, deciphering this damaged immortal GU house. Meanwhile, his clone in Eastern Sea, Qi Si ancestor, was also negotiating a transaction with Song clan. Right now, there were only Qi Si ancestor and Song Shachi in the hall. Song Shachi was a rank 7 GU immortal of Song clan. He was tasked to be stationed in Qi Si, he was their representative. Right now, Song Shachi had an ugly expression, he could not sit still. Because earlier, he had received a small request from Qi Si ancestor, Tian Nan's true inheritance. Qi Si ancestor claimed that his descendants wanted some development in refinement path, thus he wanted to make a transaction with Song clan. Song clan had once competed with Ruo Lai clan and Kai clan over the ownership of Ascending Heaven Plane. In the end, they won the true inheritance of old eccentric Tian Nan. Old eccentric Tian Nan was a genius of the remote antiquity era. He had high seniority, the first refinement path supreme grand master recorded in history. He was on par with old immortal Kongju and long hair ancestor. Even after 3 million years, old eccentric Tian Nan's true inheritance still had immense value. Song Shachi was silent for a while before replying, reporting to ancestor, I would not dare to lie. Ever since we obtained this refinement path true inheritance, our Song clan has been researching upon it. We specially chose to nurture GU immortal seeds to make Tian Nan's true inheritance one of our signature strengths in the future. This is a huge matter, I cannot decide on it, allow me to report it first. But I would guess that the result might disappoint you, ancestor. Song Shachi said in a polite tone that he would report it, but he was clearly rejecting the idea. Qi Si ancestor smiled as he waved his hand. You do not need to worry, that was just a thought that I had. Since Tian Nan's true inheritance is so precious to Song clan, why would I snatch it from you? We can forget about this matter. Song Shachi had a grateful expression. As he stood up to express his gratitude, he mentioned several other super forces in Eastern Sea. They also had deep foundation in refinement path. Qi Si ancestor had a compassionate smile as he said, I'll remember your suggestions, don't be in a rush to leave, I have made some new tea. Meng Chu Zhen passed many dream realms recently, causing Fang Yuan's food path attainment to jump through master level from 0 foundation, becoming a grand master. Qi Si ancestor was Fang Yuan's clone, they shared attainment levels. While he organized his combat system, he created some new Qi path tea as well. After drinking the tea, Song Shachi bid farewell to Qi Si ancestor respectfully. After returning to his estate, he used an immortal killer move to communicate with Song clan's headquarters. This matter concerned Qi Si ancestor, it was too important. Song clan's immortals soon learned of this situation. Song clan's GU immortals put everything else aside as they quickly discussed. HMPH, back then our Song clan spent so much resources and manpower to gain ownership of Ascending Heaven Plane and obtain Tian Nan's true inheritance. This Qi Si ancestor wants to take the fruit of our labor just like that. Wishful thinking. I think it was inappropriate to reject him on the spot. We need to give Qi Si ancestor some respect, at least, we should listen to his offer. No, Tian Nan's true inheritance is not for sale. Even though our Song clan specializes in light path and water path, these two true inheritances are not outstanding compared to other super forces. But with this Tien Nan's true inheritance, our success rate of refining Immortal GU will rise sharply. The benefit for our clan is long-lasting and immense. Song clan had been looking for a refinement path true inheritance all this time. The truth was, many Eastern Sea super forces were doing the same. Because Eastern Sea had the most abundant resources and immortal materials, once they had a high-quality refinement path true inheritance, the amount of benefits they would gain far surpassed the other regions. Tien Nan's true inheritance belongs solely to Song clan. This advantage might not be clear in the following years, but after decades or centuries, our Song clan's strength will definitely surpass the other super forces. But offending Chi Si ancestor like this might not be appropriate. Thinking about our current situation, after the Chi tide settled, all sorts of inheritances emerged, as super forces have been competing for them. Once we get into a deadlock, Chi Si ancestor would make the decision as the leader of the righteous Chi alliance. We need to consider if Chi Si ancestor will become biased after this. When he makes a decision in the future, will he purposely strip away our benefits? During this period of time, Chi Si ancestor was truly very busy. Eastern Sea's righteous path forces joined his righteous Chi alliance. When they competed for true inheritances, it became the righteous Chi alliance's internal affair. At some point, it became a trend to ask Chi Si ancestor to make the decision in a case of dispute. More and more forces started to find Chi Si ancestor. Fang Yuan had very profound political skills. Chi Si ancestor was able to make decisions that could satisfy both parties in the dispute most of the time. Thus, Chi Si ancestor's reputation rose every day. Song clan's GU Immortal had such a worry. It was not strange. We can satisfy any of his other requests. There is nothing wrong with improving our relationship with Chi Si ancestor. But he wanted Tien Nan's true inheritance. How do I put this? Chi Si ancestor has a really keen sense, as expected of someone who could contest with Fang Yuan. Earlier, Eastern Sea's super forces were friendly to Chi Si ancestor, wanting to rely on him to resist Wu Shuai and the Variant Human Alliance. But now, after the battle to pursue Fang Yuan, Chi Si ancestor was enemies with Fang Yuan. The attitude of many Eastern Sea forces including Song clan had changed a lot. Song Sha Qi, when you rejected Chi Si ancestor, what did he do? Song Qi Yuan asked. Song Sha Qi quickly replied. He gave up very quickly. There was no change in his attitude. He is very understanding and magnanimous. He even asked me to drink his tea. That new Chi path tea is really amazing. Chi Si ancestor named his new tea triple-layered Chi tea. This tea was made using Heaven Chi, Earth Chi, and Human Chi. In the cup, Heaven Chi was at the top, resembling floating clouds. Human Chi was condensed into a lump, resembling a pill that floated in the middle of the cup. Earth Chi sank to the bottom. The fragrance of the tea was deeply concealed. Only after it was drank would it emit the fragrance and leave a lingering aftertaste. After Song clan's GU Immortals heard the description, the unease in their hearts faded away slightly. Chi Si ancestor is really magnanimous. Our Song clan has always been respectful to him. Seeing his attitude, we should not have much to worry about. Even if he was angry, as the righteous Chi alliance leader, he would not go overboard. Tien Nan's true inheritance concerns immense benefits. It will be the core inheritance of our clan in the future. We cannot lose it. After the Song clan GU Immortals discussed for a long time, they made up their minds. They would leave this as it is. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2103 Song clan faces disaster. Chapter 2103 Song clan faces disaster. Several days later, inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture Dream Realm, after an intense battle of life and death, the opponent in front of Meng Chu Zhen finally fell to the ground. I want to see who you really are. Meng Chu Zhen lost control of the body. He was acting as a young man who angrily went up and pulled off the opponent's veil. But the appearance shocked the young man deeply. Father, how can it be you? The young man shouted as his body trembled. The one who fell was his father. He smiled in satisfaction as he said, "My son, you did well. You've learned all the killer moves of our clan, but your heart lacks sufficient hatred and sadness. I have a terminal illness anyway. I cannot live for long. It is better to sacrifice myself for you." The young man broke into tears. Father, why can't we give up on hatred and live in seclusion? Why must we take revenge at all cost? The young man's father stared at him fixedly. Our entire family was killed by the enemy. Your mother, your grandparents, your younger brothers and sisters, they were all killed. This hatred is above anything else, how can we not take revenge? Remember, your father died because of this. If you do not take revenge, my death will be in vain, I would have died because of you. The young man's body shook as he said in a hoarse voice, Father. He wept in pain as a pale blue flame started to burn around his body at this time. His father saw this flame as became very happy. Good, 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 such a powerful agony blue heart flame, it is enough to take our revenge, we can take revenge now. Saying so, the young man's father took his final breath. Oh no, Meng Chu Zhen cried out internally. Seeing his father's death, the agony blue heart flame on the young man, body expanded rapidly, it burned with at least 10 times of the intensity as before. Meng Chu Zhen's soul was still in the dream, he instantly felt a surge of sadness, anger, and hatred, they poured into his heart like a torrential river. I cannot lose myself. This is the hardest part of the dream realm. Meng Chu Zhen desperately held on but he started to lose his grip in a few moments. Create dream. Without a choice, he immediately used a dream path immortal killer move to defend his soul. In a newly created dream within a dream, he was situated in a large room. The room broke out in flames, it was burning in blue flames. Meng Chu Zhen quickly took action, extinguishing the fire all over the house, trying to save it. After a chaotic period, the fire started to dwindle, the sturdy house was also burned to a crisp, only an intact guest room was left. I survived. Meng Chu Zhen let out a breath of air, dispelling the killer move dream within dream as he returned to the original dream realm. The final hurdle of the dream realm was simply too fatal. Meng Chu Zhen was almost engulfed by emotions, he nearly forgot about reality and the dream completely, submerging entirely into this dream. Of course, each time he explored a dream, his main body would stay outside to guard against any accidents, he would take action if something happened. This dream realm was finally passed. Together with the gains of the earlier few dream realms, Fang Yuan's fire path attainment level reached Great Grand Master. Fire path attainment level reached Great Grand Master, I can finally annex those fire path grotto heavens in the 2 heavens. Looking at the time, Wu Shuai's method should have activated already. Fang Yuan's main body assessed. Immemorial 2 heavens. Fire plane grotto heaven. On a vast grassland, there was red-colored firebeard grass growing everywhere. It was harvest season, GU masters of the grotto heaven started to use GU worms to collect the firebeard grass. Crack, crack, from somewhere, a terrifying sound could be heard from below. The moment the GU masters sensed something, they were faced with a fatal threat. Countless ants came up from underground, some were finger-sized, some were large as carriages, the number of ants was uncountably large, they instantly engulfed the entire firebeard grassland. Skeleton Grotto Heaven, what is going on? What is going on? The Grotto Heaven GU Immortal in charge of raising the bone armor hounds was flustered and helpless. The 1,000 or so bone armor hounds that he was in charge of rearing started to growl in anguish, some were rolling on the ground, biting in a frenzy. The GU Immortal had a pale expression. Oh no, I'm finished. Granny said that I had to take care of these bone armor hounds with utmost carefulness, but I actually screwed up so badly. Some bone armor hounds started to die, a large number of ants crawled out of their corpses. The GU Immortal gritted his teeth in anger, so these ants are the cause of this. I want you all to The GU Immortal was quickly shocked and uncertain. Because more and more ants came out of the bone armor hounds, some were even coming out from the ground. These ants were like raging tides, the size was growing rapidly, the GU Immortal was very shocked. There was even Immortal GU Aura among them, the GU Immortal did not dare to stay here, he quickly retreated. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven, Imperial Court. Your Majesty, Chuzhou, Qingzhou, Lianzhou and other areas are experiencing ant plagues. The ant plagues are too terrifying, in just half a day, hundreds of thousands of mortals died, 100 cities got wiped out. Within the ant plague, there are rank 6 and 7 immortal ants, all of the officials in the various provinces are troubled. The current dynasty's emperor frowned with a solemn expression, the ant plague is too vicious, it is not something we can resolve. The current matter at hand is to contact the Grotto Lord. Song Clan Headquarters. Grandpa, you're so nice to me, thank you for the immortal GU. Song Yishi held the rank 6 Water Path Immortal GU in her hands as she spoke happily. Song Clan's first Supreme Elder Song Qiyuan was her grandfather. At this moment, Song Qiyuan looked at his beloved granddaughter, he said in concern, our clan is researching Tian Nan's true inheritance, this Water Path Immortal GU is our first success. But my dear granddaughter, don't go around flaunting it, tell others that you captured this wild immortal GU by chance. Even though I am the first Supreme Elder, I cannot be openly biased towards you. I get it, I get it. Song Yishi looked at the water path Immortal Gu in her hands with overflowing joy. While she was toying around with it in her hands, her face suddenly turned pale as she held her tummy. So much pain, so painful. She fell down weakly, her face had turned white like snow. Initially, only her stomach was hurting, but soon, the unbearably intense pain spread to her entire body. My granddaughter, what's happening? Song Qiyuan was shocked, he quickly checked. At the next moment, Song Qiyuan found that there were countless ants roaming around in Song Yishi's body, devouring her flesh. The thing that made him even angrier was that these ants were actually eating away at her Dao marks. Such evil ants, such vicious methods. Song Qiyuan quickly made his move. A pure white light shrouded over Song Yishi, the light split into countless threads that entered her body, killing all of these ants in an instant. Song Qiyuan cultivated light path, his attainment level was very high, he used his methods with great proficiency, easily suppressing the situation. But good times did not last long, soon, new ants grew out and continued to torture Song Yishi. Song Qiyuan's brows were tightly locked, he felt heartache at her plight but also deep anger, he soon realized the problem. It turned out that these new ants were emerging from Song Yishi's immortal aperture. My granddaughter, bear with the pain, take a look at your immortal aperture. Song Qiyuan tried to speak to her in a gentle tone. Song Yishi took a look at her immortal aperture as her face turned pale with shock, she cried with reddened eyes, so many ants. Grandfather, my immortal aperture is going to be destroyed by these ants. The terrifying ant plague spread around the many Gu immortals of the righteous Qi alliance. The grotto heavens of the two heavens were the main victims, Old Immortal Hua Yu, Granny Skeleton, and Fire Plane Grotto Heaven's owner were the main targets. Other than them, there were the Song clan, the Ruo Lai clan, and the Kai clan. As for the remaining Eastern Sea super forces, even though they faced the ant plague too, it was to a smaller extent, involving their external resource points. Once the ant plague appeared, it immediately received the attention of the entire righteous Qi alliance. This ant plague is too strange, it is clearly targeting us. We didn't find anything strange earlier, the variant human alliance is completely intact. Such powerful ants, even an idiot knows that this is the work of Wu Shuai. To think that Wu Shuai is just a mere clone of Fang Yuan, yet he has such a terrifyingly vicious method. The righteous Qi alliance soon found the culprit, they were furious and gathered to discuss it. Many of the victims displayed the ants in their territories. The aura of these ants varied from weak to strong, from mortal to immortal. They came in all sorts of shapes and sizes, there was no clear pattern. These ants are very scary, the most terrifying thing is that they can devour Dao marks to refine and raise their rank themselves. They are too hard to eliminate, we could not find any ant eggs. And the biggest question now is, when did we get hit by this move? The Gu immortals discussed among themselves while Qi Si ancestor sat at the main seat, holding this session for them. He had a worried expression but he secretly admired Wu Shuai internally. I've been trying to complete my combat system and create core killer moves. Thus, I asked the main body to get Sheng Tian true inheritance. To think that Wu Shuai has already gone one step further and innovated, creating an even more complex killer move, lingering poisonous ant plague. Qi Si ancestor knew some details. Even though Fang Yuan's main body and Wu Shuai did not tell him, they were not keeping things a secret either. In their interactions, they exposed some details. It turned out that after Meng Chu Zhen became an immortal and obtained multiple dream path immortal Gu, his efficiency in exploring dream realms rose tremendously. Fang Yuan's food path and poison path rose to grandmaster level. Clones shared his attainment levels, Wu Shuai used his quasi-supreme refinement path and enslavement path attainment levels, as well as wood path grandmaster, to create a qualitative change and make a breakthrough. Originally, Wu Shuai's ants came from green ant ascetic. Even though this method had great battle strength, a long time had passed since his era. This time, Wu Shuai referenced the killer move Qing Chou. On the basis of green ant ascetic, he made a breakthrough and allowed his ants to devour Dao marks to auto-refine themselves into higher ranks. But Wu Shuai's main body could not use the move, only Fang Yuan's main body could use it. Lingering poisonous ant plague was in essence a compound killer move comprising poison path, enslavement path, refinement path, wood path, and food path. It even expended unrestrained heavenly marks. This move had an incredibly powerful concealment effect. It began by using the advantage of poison path, possessing concealment and infectiousness. After the killer move's Tao marks infect the target's immortal aperture, it would turn into miniature ants that devour the surroundings to grow stronger and increase in numbers. After they reach a certain size, they would turn into the terrifying ant plague. To completely get rid of the ant plague, one would need to eliminate the respective Tao marks. But currently, the Righteous Qi Alliance had not found out this fact yet. Even if they knew, they would not have efficient methods to deal with this compound killer move either. 1. Actual cities in China. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2104 Helpless Immortals. 2104 Helpless Immortals. In the hall at the bottom of Qi, the representatives of the clans in the Righteous Qi Alliance gathered with many different wills, discussing on how to resolve the lingering poisonous ant plague. The ant plague had just been discovered, the clans did not have any good ideas. Thus gradually, their gazes shifted towards Qi ancestor. The grotto heaven owners that resided in the two heavens were already gritting their teeth. They asked Qi ancestor to stand up for them. The ant plague harmed almost all the two heavens grotto heavens Righteous Qi Alliance members. These people were considered closest to Qi ancestor. As for Eastern Sea's forces, only Song clan, Ruo Lai clan, and Kai clan were affected. Thus, Eastern Sea's GU Immortals deduced, did this method originate from the two heavens? Song clan, Ruo Lai clan, and Kai clan got hit by it because they have ascending heaven plane. Nobody suspected Qi ancestor to be the culprit. Because the ones who suffered the most were Qi ancestor's closest allies in the Righteous Qi Alliance. After staying silent for a moment, Qi ancestor said, "We need to resolve this ant plague. In my opinion, this problem is even greater than the Qi harvest fruit from before. As long as the Qi harvest fruit does not explode, it would not damage the grotto heaven. But this ant plague harms GU Immortals and their foundations at all times. Among us here, some have not encountered this problem. But if we do not try to resolve this now, nobody will be spared in the future." The immortals in the hall were all very worried. GU Immortals were astute people, everyone acknowledged Qi ancestors' words. If not for this, they would not have gathered to discuss this so quickly. The ant plague was like a fire, even though it was only burning some people now. If it was not put out in time, everyone would be affected by it eventually. Qi ancestor continued, "Resolving this ant plague will not be like the Qi harvest fruit problem. During that time, I could still try to solve it, but this ant plague does not concern Qi path. Thus, we will have to rely on all of you. We must work together to get through this. We need to gather the wisdom path GU Immortals of the respective clans and make deductions together. During the process, if they need any immortal GU, killer move, a particular path's GU Immortal great expert, or even the help of a true inheritance, you need to provide it without holding back." Qi ancestor's expression became increasingly solemn. "Even if we cannot resolve this, we need to be able to suppress and slow down the ant plague for now. If we cannot even suppress it, we will need to wage war on the variant human alliance again." Qi ancestor spoke with a firm tone, his expression was very serious. The hall fell into silence. The GU Immortals stopped talking. Qi ancestor's words made good sense. The terrifying part of the ant plague was that it consumed the foundation of the GU Immortal. If it could not be restrained or stopped in time, the ant plague would grow increasingly strong while the Righteous Qi Alliance would become weakened severely. After a long time, a clear difference in strength would be apparent between the Righteous Qi Alliance and Variant Human Alliance. If they did not attack early and deal with the Variant Human Alliance, eventually, the Righteous Qi Alliance would not have the strength to contest the Variant Human Alliance anymore. The killer move lingering poisonous ant plague involved many paths and even used up unrestrained heavenly marks. This killer move was at the strategic level, it had terrifying might. But waging war on the Variant Human Alliance? Isn't that simply waging war on Gu Fang Yuan and Wu Shuai? How can we be Fang Yuan's match? Even Spectral Soul fell at his hands. But if we do not fight, are we going to wait for death? There is no longer an option for us, this demon Fang Yuan is too overbearing. No, even Heavenly Court could not do anything against Fang Yuan, even though our Righteous Qi Alliance has many members. Isn't Fang Yuan also accumulating strength right now? Maybe we can get help from Heavenly Court. HMPH, Heavenly Court is not worthy of being the leader of the righteous path. Our Lord Alliance leader has already contacted them, wanting to work together to deal with the Variant Human Alliance. They have been stalling with excuses. In my opinion, the best situation is for us to work together and resolve this ant plague. Even though Fang Yuan is behind this, he has not taken action personally, this is his probe towards us. We need to perfectly resolve this ant plague and show him our strength. The immortals in the hall discussed, they soon came to a consensus. They did not want an all-out battle to the death. Eastern Seas GU immortals did not have the same nature as Northern Plains GU immortals. Furthermore, all of the clans were busy competing for the newly exposed true inheritances, they were too busy, why shouldn't they strengthen themselves instead of pitting their lives against the enemies? For normal fights, they would be wins or losses, there was hope, that was why people would want to fight. But to fight against Fang Yuan to the death, it would not lead to the enemy's death, they would certainly die themselves. All the GU immortals did not say this, but they had the same opinion internally. Heavenly Court's distressed state, spectral soul's loss, all these proved that Fang Yuan had terrifying might and incredible craftiness. Eastern Seas GU immortals did not know that spectral soul's main body was still around. In their eyes, Fang Yuan even managed to kill a former Venerable, his strength was simply too much, his demonic might was unparalleled. Unless they had absolutely no choice, they did not want to provoke such a person. In that case, let's try to resolve the ant plague. Chi-Si ancestors' final sentence ended this meeting. The Righteous Chi Alliance started to put in effort to research on how to resolve this. But was the killer move lingering poisonous ant plague so simple? The more the GU immortals from the Righteous Chi Alliance researched, the less confident they got. Facing everyone's expectations, even the Wisdom Path GU immortals doing the deductions felt increasing pressure as time passed. Days passed, they did not produce any good results. All the clans were unhappy, Chi-Si ancestor also personally came to ask about it. The Wisdom Path GU immortals with Wan at the lead had to ask, don't be anxious, we have a discovery. The ant plague contains wood path profundity, these ants are able to grow while growing as a specialty of wood path. This is likely because Fang Yuan fought against Qingqiu and gained some inspiration from it. To be honest, these Wisdom Path GU immortals were quite impressive to have realized this. Thus, Eastern Seas wood path experts were brought over and participated in the research. There was no result again. The Wisdom Path and Wood Path GU immortals felt increasing pressure, they shouted, enslavement path, enslavement path. The ant plague contains enslavement path profundity, these ants are organized in an orderly manner, they work in unison to create a huge plague, this is the power of enslavement path. Thus, the Righteous Chi Alliance's enslavement path experts also joined in the group and participated in the research. But the research still made no progress. The Wisdom Path, Wood Path, and Enslavement Path GU immortals could not stand the pressure, they shouted again, we need Poison Path experts. There were not many Poison Path experts but they still existed. Under everyone's expectations, the Poison Path experts also joined in the research. We also need Food Path experts. These ants have the ability to grow from devouring food. The researching GU immortals said in agreement. However, Food Path GU immortals were just too rare. After talking among themselves, the immortals had to invite the famous Eastern Sea Lone immortal, Zui Xian Wang. Zui Xian Wang had many acquaintances, he had some sort of connection with most of the Righteous Path forces, but he was not currently in Eastern Sea. We need Refinement Path as well. We found that the core of the ant plague is Refinement Path. Undoubtedly, after Fang Yuan obtained Langya sect, his Refinement Path attainment is too deep. These ants are able to devour Dao marks and refine themselves into immortal GU, this is too shocking. Eastern Seas clans quickly put in effort together, they sent most of their clans' Refinement Path GU immortals over. With everyone's collective effort, progress in the research was showing. These clans, elites were really talented people, but they could not find the most important and fundamental result. Did this single move, lingering poisonous ant plague, overwhelm the entire Eastern Sea Righteous Path? That was the fact of the matter. This was simply unbelievable to the Righteous Chi Alliance's GU immortals, but they had no choice but to admit it. Shen Kongsheng said some words that showed deep wisdom, at this point, I've already understood some things. That Fang Yuan has the sovereign immortal body, he cultivates all paths, he is an all-rounded genius. This compound killer move comprises Poison Path, Wood Path, Refinement Path, Food Path, and Enslavement Path profundities, he put the specialties of all these paths together in an intrinsic manner. As for us, we can only cultivate one path, or two at most. If we cultivate Poison Path, we cannot understand Wood Path. If we cultivate Wood Path, we know nothing about Food Path. Because of this, even if we work together, we cannot solve this ant plague problem. Even now, the Righteous Chi Alliance had not discovered that lingering poisonous ant plague killer move also comprised Heaven Path profundity. However, nobody in history had ever cultivated heaven path. It was normal that they did not discover this. How can a person cultivate every path like this? Speaking of which, spectral soul is too useless. Shadow Sect and Zombie Alliance spent over 100,000 years of accumulation to refine a rank 9 sovereign immortal fetus GU, but he actually lost it to Fang Yuan like this. Creating compound killer moves is simply as easy as breathing for him. After some time passes from now, he is going to have even more new methods. This demon only used one move to send us into panic and helplessness. Why is it that our Eastern Sea has to be the one suffering from this number one demon's method? The Righteous Chi Alliance could not find a solution. While venting their frustrations out loud, they felt disdain towards Spectral Soul, they felt increasing hatred towards Fang Yuan, along with dense wariness, they also felt helpless and tearful about their own fate. In that case, let's fight with them. Chi Si Ancestor surged with fighting spirit, he said with a firm tone. Lord Alliance Leader, the situation has not reached that stage yet. A GU Immortal immediately interjected. Chi Si Ancestor sighed. Our Righteous Chi Alliance's losses have been severe these days, carrying on like this is pointless, we will fall into that vicious Fang Yuan's trap. If we wait anymore, we will not have the strength to fight anymore. These days, the two Heavens GU Immortals suffered tremendous losses. Among Eastern Sea's Righteous Path forces, Song Clan, Kai Clan, and Ruo Lai Clan suffered the most losses. As for the other clans, even though the ant plague also affected them, it had just started for them after all. Thus, most of the Righteous Path clans did not want to wage war now. Of course, this situation was something that Fang Yuan intended for when he took action earlier. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2105 Obtaining True Inheritances. 2105 Obtaining True Inheritances. We still have hope. We are not in a truly desperate situation yet. That's right, even though we gathered most of the elite GU Immortals of our clans, we have not taken out our true inheritances for them to use as reference. With these true inheritance contents, if we can come up with ideas together, there is a high chance of resolving the ant plague crisis. Chi Si Ancestor was silent for a while before nodding slowly. The situation is very severe, I believe all of you know that even without me saying it. Thus, everyone needs to contribute their true inheritances, please show us your utmost sincerity. If anyone dares to hide their inheritance or conceal it, don't blame me for taking matters into my own hands. As long as we can get rid of the ant plague, the entire Righteous Chi Alliance will benefit. Everyone's efforts will be rewarded and compensated. I believe that our contribution board would be the best answer to you. To resolve the ant plague, all the clans started to make contributions. Hua clan took out their snake poison chi thread true inheritance, Nangong clan took out great profound true inheritance, Xie clan took out remnant leaves true inheritance, Su clan took out big belly true inheritance. Originally, even though Righteous Chi Alliance had a contribution board, there were few names on it. Before this, Chi Si Ancestor also asked the clans to exchange inheritances and killer moves mutually, but these were all superficial exchanges. After all, if there was no need to, who would take out their unique inheritance to trade to others? But now, the situation was different. Not only did the contribution board's length get longer, the intensity of the competition over rankings also rose, the names on the list moved up and down constantly. Different inheritance details had varying value, some were more precious than others, while some were hard to assess. But Chi Si Ancestor was Fang Yuan's clone, they shared attainment level, he had deep knowledge about this and gave all the clans, inheritances an appropriate assessment of value. Even if the contributor was not happy with it, Chi Si Ancestor would gather the immortals and discuss together. Each time, his arguments would convince all the GU immortals and leave them unable to rebuke him. As this happened with increasing frequency, Chi Si Ancestor's prestige also rose as well. The Righteous Chi Alliance's members were all in awe towards Chi Si Ancestor's wealth of knowledge. First Supreme Elder, are we really handing over Tian Nan's true inheritance? This is Tian Nan's true inheritance after all. Back then, in order to get ascending heaven plane and obtain this true inheritance, we spent so much effort and suffered immense hardship. Song Clan's GU immortals went to find Song Chi Yuan, they were very unwilling. Song Chi Yuan sighed deeply as he said helplessly, can't you see the current situation? It has gone out of our control. Everyone knows that we possess Tian Nan's true inheritance, they have already been asking us to contribute it time and time again, even dragging it until now is our limit. Sha clan gave their molten casting true inheritance while Tang clan contributed their myriad fusion true inheritance. If we do not give them Tian Nan's true inheritance, we will not be able to explain for ourselves. Everyone is looking at us now, who would let us off? Song clan's GU immortals turned silent. The situation had unknowingly gone out of their control. Initially, all the clans had good intentions. In order to avoid war and to resolve the ant plague, they contributed some true inheritances. Even though these true inheritances were of wood path, food path, and other relevant paths, they were not too important or valuable. But even if the value was not high, they were still ranked accordingly. Some people became higher ranked, some were lower ranked. If the difference was not obvious, so be it. But this contribution board indicated everyone's contribution very clearly. The clans at the top would feel unhappy when they looked at it. Why did we contribute so much while others make barely any contribution? Let alone the rest, doesn't that clan have that true inheritance we need? Why are they still keeping silent? Look at us, we even gave up our important true inheritance. With such pressure, those at the lower end of the list had to choose some inheritances to contribute. This way, the people at the bottom would go to the top, they would feel unhappy again. If they still ranked below the rest, they would be mocked at by the top contributors, they might even face humiliating criticism. Is this all that your clan has? You can't even give us anything good, you dare to call yourselves a super clan. GU immortals were astute people. When they took out their inheritances, they would think of offering those with similar value, to make sure everyone had around the same ranking. But how could that happen? There were too many names on the contribution board. Who could be certain that their inheritance was just about right? And even if some GU immortals felt that it was about right, others would think differently. Even if everyone was happy about it, don't forget who the person evaluating these inheritances was. Chi-Si ancestor pretended to be regulating this exchange, but he was creating problems for them secretly. Thus, all the different clans competed and mocked each other. The competition became intense. The clans started taking out more and more valuable inheritances. This led to the pain of loss, which turned into anger and unhappiness when they saw those people who contributed less than them. Thus, the situation got out of their control. All the clans had to take out their top-tier true inheritances. Song clan was not the first one. And Tian Nan's true inheritance was already an eyesore to some people. They wanted it to be contributed. I've already given up this true inheritance. Why is your Song clan keeping Tian Nan's true inheritance? Do you think this is the right thing to do? HMPH, my clan's sacrifice is so big, I need to make sure Song clan suffers as well. Song clan's Tian Nan's true inheritance definitely has huge value. Using this chance, we can obtain it easily while having a good reason for it. This is great. All the clans had many GU immortals. These were all elites. The contribution of true inheritances became a competition. It turned into a political conflict between the clans. The righteous Qi alliance's members were tearing at each other, while the biggest beneficiary was the high and mighty Chi-Si ancestor who watched this spectacle from his main seat. Fang Yuan not only obtained Tian Nan's true inheritance, he also got several other refinement path true inheritances. There were also some food path inheritances that he was interested in. Undoubtedly, Eastern Sea was very rich. These super forces had very deep foundations. They definitely had even better things, but it was not wise to ask them for more. If the pressure intensified, it might backfire instead. What made the righteous Qi alliance slightly happier was that after the immense contributions, they finally saw some results. Even though they could not get rid of the lingering poisonous ant plague, there were methods that could restrict its growth now. Brainstorming was still an effective strategy. Even though Fang Yuan's killer move was unique, with the hard work of the entire Eastern Sea righteous path, it was only a matter of time until they resolved it. Using one killer move to decimate the entire region's righteous path was impossible to begin with. Killer moves were fixed, they had flaws, that was why GU immortals could improve upon them. Fang Yuan did not think this would work. His true motive was to get refinement path inheritances, everything else was an added bonus. He wanted to become venerable through refinement path. He had to become venerable to reach a qualitative change that would give him the strength to resist star constellation, giant sun, and spectral soul. Of course, it was not that Fang Yuan could not snatch these inheritances using force. His current battle strength had surpassed the entire Eastern Sea righteous path. But the efficiency was just too low. How could it compare to the speed of their willing contribution? Also, true inheritances could be destroyed. It was a risky thing to do. And finally, it would waste Fang Yuan's time and energy. His growth would become slower. Fang Yuan would also waste his luck. All these super forces had immense foundation and huge luck. fighting against them would expend his own luck. When he went to Crazed Demon Cave, Fang Yuan would need to face venerable opponents. It was better to conserve his strength instead of wasting it. This was also why Fang Yuan made transactions with Southern Borders Wu clan and Western Deserts Fang clan. Fang Yuan's main body soon got hold of the contents of Tian Nan's true inheritance and the others. Among all the inheritances that the Righteous Qi Alliance took out, Tian Nan's true inheritance had the highest value. Right now, on the contribution board, Song clan was placed at the top spot. Old eccentric Tian Nan described his grand and maniacal ambitions in this true inheritance. He wanted to refine the immemorial two heavens and even the five regions, to turn them into his own external immortal aperture. There was no doubt about it, he failed. Even a Venerable could only refine the Tao marks of their own path in the outside world. Yet, old eccentric Tian Nan wanted to refine all the Tao marks of the world. In Fang Yuan's case, this was completely possible in theory. When GU cultivators refine GU, weren't they just refining the relevant Tao marks or Tao fragments of the GU? The biggest obstacle to old eccentric Tian Nan was none other than Heaven Path. He found that no matter what idea he came up with, he could not refine Heaven Path Tao marks. Eventually, he found an extremely risky method but ended up failing. In historical records, old eccentric Tian Nan had an eccentric nature. He tried to refine the heavens and ended up dying as a result. It was said that being half a step ahead of the era was genius, while being one step ahead of the era was insanity. Old eccentric Tian Nan was such a lunatic. 2 million years passed and the eras progressed. One person who managed to resolve old eccentric Tian Nan's biggest problem finally appeared. Limitless Demon Venerable. He succeeded in his Heaven Path refinement. Over a million years passed again. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable entered Crazed Demon Cave in his exploration. He obtained Limitless Demon Venerable's method that could do this. Indeed, it was Unrestrained Heavenly Mark. The Unrestrained Heavenly Mark killer move that Lu Weiyin gave to Fang Yuan had a long history. It was not created by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. Paradise Earth merely modified it. The source was limitless. And what surprised Fang Yuan was that in this Tian Nan's true inheritance, there were Reckless Savage Demon Venerable's notes. It turned out that Reckless Savage Demon Venerable had also obtained Tian Nan's true inheritance in Ascending Heaven Plane. Even though he learned the true inheritance's details, he did not destroy it. He even made it more sturdy to pass on to the future generations. In his later years, Reckless Savage Demon Venerable returned here and added his own refinement path experience in Tian Nan's true inheritance. This old man Tian Nan is really daring. Speaking of which, if I can refine the entire heavenly Tao, that would be so cool. It is a pity that refinement path does not suit me. I still prefer close combat using my body. But I can make use of those remaining beastmen. Didn't they want to use food path to claim victory? He, wishful thinking. They think I have not discovered that gluttonous demon frog. Using the notes, Fang Yuan saw that the mystery of the past history was unveiled to an extent. In historical records, Reckless Savage Demon Venerable used the lingering beastman in his old age to create Reckless Savage Grotto Heaven. He left behind his true inheritance inside it. It turned out that Reckless Savage Demon Venerable was using Tian Nan's true inheritance to scheme against and make use of those beastmen's methods instead. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2106 Forcing a Rank 8 to Death. Chapter 2106 Forcing a Rank 8 to Death. The night wind howled in his ears. Fire Plane Grotto Lord flew in immemorial white heaven. He concealed his traces as he moved. If others looked, they would only see a vague figure moving rapidly. The only thing was that the trail he moved on had high temperature, but wind soon blew the anomaly away. Fire Plane Grotto Lord had rank 8 cultivation level, but in an environment like immemorial white heaven, he still had to be very careful. If he acted more brazenly, he would cause immemorial desolate beasts to attack him. Especially those Fire Path immemorial desolate beasts. They had a huge interest in Fire Plane Grotto Lord. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was not weak, of course, but he was not in the frame of mind to bother with such problems. If he wanted to hunt immemorial desolate beasts in immemorial white heaven, he would need to plan and make preparations beforehand. Fire Plane Grotto Lord rushed back to his grotto heaven as he assessed his own body. The ant plague in his body had already been suppressed. Fire Plane Grotto Heaven was affected long ago. The GU immortals in the grotto heaven had also been hit by this vicious method. Poison Path excelled in traits like concealment and infectiousness. The Righteous Qi Alliance was right to ask Poison Path experts to participate in the research. The situation is stabilized at least, but Fire Plane Grotto Heaven is still in deep trouble. We need a lot of contribution points to salvage it. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was very worried. Fire Plane Grotto Heaven's losses were severe this time. Inside the Grotto Heaven, the largest fire beard grassland had perished, turning into ruins. The fire beard grass that had great vitality was gone without a trace, not even the roots were left. The vermilion flame wolves and red grass horses were also nearly extinct. The ant plague spared nothing. These wolves and horses were all eaten with no bones left behind. Our losses are too severe, but we still need to spend a huge sum to salvage this disaster. Fire Plane Grotto Lord frowned tightly. The Righteous Chi Alliance members paid such a huge price to research and gain some results that could suppress the lingering poisonous ant plague killer move. Even brothers became sensitive when it came to money, not to mention this Righteous Chi Alliance that had barely any cohesiveness. For the groups to survive and resist the powerful Fang Yuan, Wu Shuai, and the Variant Human Alliance, they created the Righteous Chi Alliance. Eastern Sea's Righteous Path paid a huge price for this. They would not allow the rest to use these gains without paying a cost. According to the rules set by Righteous Chi Alliance, Fire Plane Grotto Lord had to pay a huge amount of resources or use high-quality true inheritances in exchange for contribution points, which could be used to save Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. But what else could he do except that? Fire Plane Grotto Lord sighed deeply in his heart. He was filled with worries towards the present and the future. This is only the first move by that demon Fang Yuan. This is likely just a test, but our clan has already suffered greatly. He will definitely make a second or third attack. Fang Yuan possesses the sovereign immortal aperture. He can annex rank 8 Grotto Heavens. Those Grotto Heavens of the Variant Human Alliance are dwindling. He has already annexed many of them. My clan's Fire Plane Grotto Heaven is definitely on his hunting list. Or more accurately speaking, all the Grotto Heavens in the 2 heavens are now his prey. Ever since Fang Yuan annexed Grand Swine Grotto Heaven and Time Difference Grotto Heaven, he had not stopped annexing others. The Variant Human Alliance had been subdued by him long ago. They could only watch as he annexed their Grotto Heavens, helpless against Fang Yuan. Many were definitely furious that their homelands were annexed by Fang Yuan, but they did not dare to say anything in spite of their rage. The commotion from the annexing of the apertures was too great. It was impossible to hide. Therefore, Fire Plane Grotto Lord and others clearly were aware of this information. The enemy is too powerful. Our Righteous Chi Alliance is clearly at a disadvantage. If we cannot match them in combat, we can only place our advantage in development. Fire Plane Grotto Lord analyzed inwardly. The Grotto Heavens of the 2 heavens had limited space. After countless years of development and accumulation, they had long since reached the point where they had no more development potential. However, Eastern Sea was vast and rich. Even if all these Grotto Heavens were added together, they could not compare to the size and wealth of Eastern Sea. This advantage was also the source of Righteous Chi Alliance's confidence against the Variant Human Alliance. Even though the latter occupied Sha Clan's territory, they only had a tiny area of Eastern Sea. In this aspect, the Righteous Chi Alliance had a clear advantage. Fang Yuan can also tell that we have this advantage, thus he used the compound killer move to weaken us. He is definitely not going to stop here. By then, SGU Immortals of the 2 heavens will become his main targets. Sigh, when will we finally be able to him? Suddenly, the scene before Fire Plane Grotto Lord changed abruptly. The surroundings were covered in blue fog that trapped him in many layers. Fire Plane Grotto Lord quickly stopped moving. He activated his defensive and investigative methods. At the next moment, his expression changed. Battlefield killer move. Who are you? How dare you attack a member of the Righteous Chi Alliance? Come out, don't try to act mysterious. Fire Plane Grotto Lord shouted. But he only heard a wave of chuckling noises that resembled a child's voice. The laughter spread around Fire Plane Grotto Lord, causing this rank 8 GU Immortal to be unable to discern where the voice was coming from. Suddenly, a child attacked him from the huge blue fog without any notice. He stretched out his chubby little arm and quickly grabbed at Fire Plane Grotto Lord's back. Fire Plane Grotto Lord had already used an investigative killer move, even though its range was restricted to less than half of the usual because of this battlefield killer move. But it was enough for Fire Plane Grotto Lord to detect this child's action. However, Fire Plane Grotto Lord was still too slow. The mysterious child succeeded. Fire Plane Grotto Lord grunted as he was hit by the move. Bam! At the next moment, Fire Plane Grotto Lord unleashed a fierce attack and sparks of flames burst out and slaughtered the mysterious child on the spot. The child died, but there was no blood or flesh. He turned into a lump of blue fog. This mysterious child is made from the battlefield, but thankfully, the attack is not strong. Still, my defensive killer move was weakened by this, it has half of its strength left. Fire Plane Grotto Lord started to feel uneasy and anxious. He needed to break this battlefield killer move quickly, even if he could not, he had to create a hole and communicate with the outside world to seek help. Fire Plane Grotto Lord started to use his methods, he attacked the surroundings and tried to break the battlefield. But it was useless, his methods were like harmless wind, the surrounding blue fog was endless and limitless. From time to time, mysterious children would appear from the blue fog, they were either male or female, having blue eyes. They surrounded Fire Plane Grotto Lord as they attacked continuously. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was clearly able to detect their appearance, but he could not stop them from attacking. Each time, he got hit by them. This seems to be a wisdom path battlefield. It is influencing my thoughts, causing me to act slower and slower. I cannot attack in advance to stop the children. While Fire Plane Grotto Lord was thinking, his expression suddenly changed. He felt that a Fire Path Immortal GU was stolen by the children from his immortal aperture. Fire Plane Grotto Lord quickly destroyed the child, but the surrounding blue fog surged towards him, sweeping the exposed Fire Path Immortal GU away. Fire Plane Grotto Lord chased after it for a while but could not find anything. Oh no, this is a theft path battlefield, these mysterious children can steal my immortal aperture's immortal GU when they attack. I cannot stay here anymore, it is too dangerous. Originally, Fire Plane Grotto Lord felt that even though these mysterious children could not be guarded against, they were not strong, he could last a long time. But now, Fire Plane Grotto Lord became deeply shocked, his hair was standing on end, his expression turned very ugly. There was a pessimistic guess in his heart. This is a compound battlefield of theft path and wisdom path, or at least, it definitely contains these two paths. I've never heard of such a compound killer move before. If this is a new killer move, then the user is most likely. Fire Plane Grotto Lord thought of a name. He could not help but shudder. Just this name alone made him break out in cold sweat. He wanted this guess to be wrong, but at the next moment, Fang Yuan's figure slowly emerged. Life was this cruel after all. Gu Fang Yuan, Fire Plane Grotto Lord took in a sharp breath, his eyes were staring wide as he looked at Fang Yuan in a daze. This was the #1 demon in the world, he was smiling and appearing in front of him. This is my new killer move, what do you think about it? Fire Plane Grotto Lord, obediently hand over your immortal GU and Fire Plane Grotto Heaven, I might allow you to surrender. Fang Yuan said calmly, the surrounding blue fog concealed his body, making his smile even more peculiar and sinister. This battlefield killer move was Fang Yuan's newest creation. Fang Yuan ventured into the territory of battlefield killer moves, the results were quite promising. This killer move used sneak attack immortal GU as the core, it was a compound battlefield killer move that contained wisdom path, theft path, refinement path, time path, and others. After getting the information of Fire Plane Grotto Lord's route from Qi ancestor, Fang Yuan arranged an ambush here and used this method to test out the effect of his new killer move. Gu Fang Yuan, I am not your match. Let me consider your request. Fire Plane Grotto Lord had a hoarse voice as he lowered his head. At the next moment, blazing flames started to burn around Fire Plane Grotto Lord's body with a loud sound. Immortal killer move, furious red heart flames. Fang Yuan, within the fire, Fire Plane Grotto Lord shouted, don't force me. With just one thought, I can burn all of the GU worms and resources in my immortal aperture. Let me off, give me a way out, let me leave the battlefield, I will hand my GU worms to you. Fire Plane Grotto Lord said with a distorted expression. He knew that Fang Yuan was vicious and heartless, he tried to use this threat to survive. But Fang Yuan snorted coldly, do you think I care about those few immortal GU? Or even the resources in your immortal aperture? Hee, go ahead and burn. Incinerate your entire immortal aperture if you can, that will be a show. Fang Yuan did not take action personally, he vanished into the blue fog behind him. Next, a large number of blue-eyed children jumped out and attacked Fire Plane Grotto Lord continuously. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was extremely furious and sad as the children attacked him. After enduring for a few breaths of time, he growled in anger as the flames exploded around him, he had actually burned himself to a crisp. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2107 Invading Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. 2107 Invading Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. An exposed immortal aperture floated in the air. Its entrance was not open but it absorbed the surrounding heaven and earth chi. Feng Yuan easily grabbed onto it. His immortal killer move could capture and relocate immortal apertures. It had originated from Blazing Heaven Demoness, Fire Hand killer move. Now, this method had been modified by Feng Yuan into a compound killer move. Its power rose greatly, the effects were shocking. Next, Feng Yuan deactivated the compound battlefield killer move and used heaven and earth travel to leave the place. Soon, the immortal aura leaked and the surrounding ancient desolate beasts and immemorial desolate beasts were attracted. Feng Yuan could not conceal his aura yet. It was not his expertise. After arriving at a safe location, Feng Yuan tossed Fire Plane Grotto Lord's immortal aperture into the sky. This was a rank 8 grotto heaven. It could only be attached to the 2 heavens, it would not land in the 5 regions. After the grotto heaven door opened, it took in heaven and earth chi and quickly settled into this location. But Feng Yuan did not move in, he only sent his immortal apertures GU immortals to scavenge the grotto heaven. During this time, Feng Yuan annexed more grotto heavens. His Dao marks increased in numbers again. The amount was so much that if he entered this unstable grotto heaven, he might cause it to burst. Soon, his GU immortals returned. There were no immortal GU and they only brought very few immortal materials. Everywhere is burning, everything went up in flames. These are the only resources left. Lord, please forgive us. The newly born heavenly spirit is also trying to destroy everything in the grotto heaven. This seems to be the obsession left by that rank 8 GU immortal. His GU immortal subordinates reported. Feng Yuan did not mind this, he let them back into the sovereign immortal aperture. After the grotto heaven stabilized, Feng Yuan would forcefully annex this grotto heaven. Even if the heavenly spirit was unwilling to, Feng Yuan had a method to suppress the heavenly spirit. He had already modified it into a compound killer move. Feng Yuan's ability at modifying compound killer moves was limited to only usual killer moves and battlefield killer moves. When using his usual killer moves and battlefield killer moves, all the GU worms were inside Feng Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture. With the amplification of the unrestrained heavenly marks, he could unleash the might of a compound killer move. As for ancient battle formations, GU formations, and immortal GU houses, their GU worms were all in the outside world. Without an environment of unrestrained heavenly marks, even if these methods were turned into compound killer moves, there would be no effect. As Feng Yuan annexed grotto heavens, he thought about the battlefield killer move he used earlier. This killer move was not strong enough offensively, it was focused on combining theft path and wisdom path. But in actual combat, this battlefield killer move's effect was not good. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was just an ordinary rank 8 GU immortal, but Feng Yuan only managed to steal one rank 8 immortal GU from him. Immortal GU were too easy to destroy, the GU immortal could destroy them with a single thought. Even if Feng Yuan exerted his wisdom path methods to the limit, he could only affect the thinking speed of rank 8s, he could not stop all their thoughts. It was extremely difficult to reach that step, unless there was a huge difference in actual strength. Fire Plane Grotto Lord was a rank 8 GU immortal after all, he had many Dao marks that naturally protected him. Furthermore, he also had decent defensive killer moves. In history, almost no Wisdom Path GU immortals could reach this step against other similarly ranked immortals. Looking at it carefully, certain people like Peeping Gentleman, Sect Leader May, Finger-Deducing Steward and others had such achievements. Many situations were unique and could not be replicated, but the total number was still less than 5. Even Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was not in this list. Of course, nobody knew if she could reach this step, there were no clear records in history. This showed that it was extremely difficult to suppress all the thoughts of a similarly ranked expert and make them unable to resist at all, even if it was only for a short period. The strongest methods of Wisdom Path GU immortals against their enemies were still emotion-based. Thought, will, emotion, these were the 3 main Wisdom Path cultivation aspects. In this case, Feng Yuan's compound battlefield killer move did not have much value in actual use, it needed to be modified further. Even the best theories had to be tested in practice. Like a combat system, creating a combat system out of nothing by simply staying in isolation was very difficult. There was a need for a powerful opponent or intense battle of life and death to test if a combat system was really superb or not. Thus, as Feng Yuan considered his own combat system these last days, he felt some gratitude towards people like Duke Long or Spectral Soul. Precisely because of them as reference, Feng Yuan had the qualifications to create his own combat system. After annexing this rank 8 Grotto Heaven, Feng Yuan's Fire Path Dao marks rose in numbers again. But Feng Yuan was not satisfied, he continued to move. This time, he placed his sights on Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. Immortal Killer Move, Heaven Form. Fang Yuan created a huge entrance into Fire Plane Grotto Heaven through brute force. The heavenly spirit of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven was a rabbit. Because it had devoured a 9 heavens fragment before, the rabbit was dazed and slow. But now, it was jumping around, screeching in fear and panic. The GU Immortals of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven noticed this and became very uncertain and shocked. The heavenly spirit is muddled, but the past Grotto Lords have used the killer move Humanly Flame Smoke to help it gain a bit of clarity compared to heavenly spirits of other Grotto Heavens. As long as the Grotto Heaven faces danger, the heavenly spirit will be uneasy. This is a warning for us. When the ant plague occurred, the heavenly spirit became anxious already. In the Grotto Heaven's history, there were several disasters too. For example, when immemorial desolate beasts attacked or when enormous fires burned, the heavenly spirit became uneasy. But we have never seen the heavenly spirit in such a wild mood, its voice even went hoarse from growling. The immortals in Fire Plane Grotto Heaven looked at the heavenly spirit with increasingly uneasiness as well. The heavenly spirit was becoming increasingly frenzied, its expression was fearful and it even slammed its head at the surrounding pillars. Unfortunately, the heavenly spirit was not a real rabbit, it would not faint from this no matter how hard it hit the pillar. Go investigate. We need to get a result, we need to know what the danger is. This danger is very severe, it might lead our Fire Plane Grotto Heaven into the brink of destruction. Quickly contact the Grotto Lord, only he can make the decisions in such a serious matter. Is the ant plague going to continue intensifying? Fire Plane Grotto Heaven's GU Immortals were very anxious, they quickly got to action. Oh no, Grotto Lord's Life Tablet GU and Soul Lantern GU have been destroyed. What? How is this possible? The Immortals of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven became dazed. Next, they found a huge hole in the sky. Fang Yuan used Heaven Form Killer Move without concealing himself, he came openly and grandly. If Fire Plane Grotto Lord was still alive, he might be able to use the entire Grotto Heaven to resist Fang Yuan for some time while waiting for reinforcements. But now, he was already dead. Fang Yuan, it's Fang Yuan. Seeing the person beyond the hole, many of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven's GU Immortals became anguished. Why did this demon come for us? Even more GU Immortals turned pale as they shuddered with fright. Grotto Lord is dead, this demon Fang Yuan might likely be the culprit. What are we going to do? Everyone, we've already requested for help from Righteous Chi Alliance, now is the time we stake our lives and fight for survival. This is our home, the place where we were born and grew up in, our friends and family all live here. We cannot run, we cannot let that demon devour our homeland like this. After their initial panic, the Immortals gathered their spirits and united to resist Fang Yuan. It is a pity I cannot go inside now. Fang Yuan rubbed his chin as he thought, looking at the huge hole formed by Heaven Form, he could only stand outside. He had too many Dao marks, according to his calculations, this Fire Plane Grotto Heaven could not hold him either. As long as Fang Yuan went in, with the conflict of Dao marks, countless cracks would spread from this hole, the fire path Dao marks inside would be forced to squeeze to the surroundings. Seeing that the GU Immortals were resolved to fight, Fang Yuan smiled coldly as they flew into the sky and attacked Heaven Form, he opened his immortal aperture. At almost the next moment, a group of GU Immortals led by Fairy Meow Yin and Lady White Rabbit flew out of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, charging into Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. GU Immortals of both sides engaged in intense combat. At once, flames danged as lightning flashed. Figures flew around in the sky, clashing and parting, shock waves could be felt at intervals, killer moves were unleashed like fireworks, many GU Immortals lost their lives amidst this beautiful show. Immortal Killer Move, Wondrous Hand Profound Sound. Fairy Meow Yin wore a pink dress, her 2 original arms were white like snow, the remaining 6 were translucent and pink, formed from her killer move. Profound sounds spread out, attacking her surroundings in all directions. Once Fairy Meow Yin appeared, she created a huge battlefield that enveloped 3 rank 7 experts of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. After several rounds, the 3 rank 7 GU Immortals got suppressed and fell into a disadvantage. Fairy Meow Yin disregarded immortal essence expenditure, there was a reason for her current desperate attitude. She was once captured by Shadow Sect, she had to work with them and provide clues about Fang Yuan for Fairy Ziwei. There was a clear contrast between her and Lady White Rabbit. After returning to Fang Yuan, she knew she had to perform well to make up for her past mistakes. Fairy Meow Yin wanted to perform well, the other GU Immortals had similar thoughts. Bing Yuan led the Snowman GU Immortals, she sent a wave of frost energy that froze the enemies. Shizong directed the Rockman GU Immortals as they unleashed a large number of falling meteors together, causing huge losses to the enemies. Inkman GU Immortal Mo Tansang was a Chi Path cultivator. He waved his hands as a large number of Chi gathered and moved. He attacked and caused a huge commotion, causing the enemy GU Immortals to fall out of formation. Comparatively, the Hairy Man GU Immortals were slightly weaker. After all, the Hairy Man GU Immortals mostly cultivated refinement path. But there were exceptions to this. Golden Fur Immortal Monarch was covered in golden thread-like fur as he held a hammer and charged forward. He had ferocious might, raising the morale of others as well. Strange Hair Grotto Lord was covered in black hair. He activated the incomplete Immortal GU House Black Emperor building and rampaged all over the place, having already killed one GU Immortal from Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. Their Golden Hair Grotto Heaven and Strange Hair Grotto Heaven had been annexed by Fang Yuan, becoming a part of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. As for Langya Sect's Hairy Man GU Immortals, the best performance was from Rank 6 GU Immortal 12th Hair. He cultivated enslavement paths secondarily and controlled multiple desolate beasts, creating quite a commotion. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2108 Slaughtering 100 million people. 2108 Slaughtering 100 million people. There were Mushroom and GU Immortals as well. Even though the Mushroom in Blessed Land had not been annexed by Fang Yuan, most of these Mushroomen had already relocated into his Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Kei Shinhong was the strongest GU Immortal among them. His poison path methods were extraordinary. It was not long before Fire Plane Grotto Heaven started to lose on all ends. Not only did they have fewer numbers compared to Fang Yuan's subordinates, even when Rank 7s fought against each other, Fang Yuan's subordinates were still stronger. As Fang Yuan's subordinates attacked, they killed several more GU Immortals of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. In the end, the remaining GU Immortals lost their morale. They wanted to surrender, but Fang Yuan ordered for them to be killed regardless. Next, they cleaned up the battlefield. Fire Plane Grotto Heaven cultivated fire path primarily. Most of the immortal materials were also fire path. Even though some were lost due to the ant plague, because the Grotto Heaven's GU Immortals did their best to preserve the materials, there was still a large quantity of valuable resources. For example, there were 28 charcoal lakes, distributed all over Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. Every charcoal lake's location was meticulously calculated. There were huge advantages in placing them there. Fang Yuan had once constructed his own charcoal lake, but it was inferior to any single charcoal lake of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. These charcoal lakes were self-producing, especially at the depths of the lakes. A large amount of immortal material fire charcoal was produced. Other than charcoal lakes, Fire Plane Grotto Heaven also had a huge forest. Fire Date Forest. Fang Yuan even found several ancient desolate plant giant disaster blazing trees. This type of tree was covered in raging flames. Nothing could get close to it. More impressively, this giant disaster blazing tree would cause bad luck to whatever life forms got close to it. This was an immortal material that contained fire path and luck path. The two heavens Grotto Heavens of Fang Yuan's subordinates contained a certain quantity of luck path immortal materials at minimum. Fire Plane Grotto Heaven was no exception. It had luck path materials too. Other than these, Fang Yuan also gained a large amount of flames. The largest quantity was date flame. This flame was vermilion red in color. It was condensed into a lump and the fire was very well hidden within. Even though it was an immortal material, even a mortal could hold it with their hands without getting burned to ashes. Other than date flame, there was also Phoenix Song Flame, Black Lantern Blind Fire, Elephant Tusk Flame, Firefly Flame, Flying Flame, Dragon Snake Dancing Flame, and others. What disappointed Fang Yuan slightly was that even though there were many types of flames, there were none of the rank 9 unique flames of heaven, earth, and human. The so-called 3 flames of heaven, earth, and human were the heaven flame bright light glorious ring fire, earth flame azure divine stone furnace fire, and human flame raging wave rising dragon fire. After collating the immortal materials, he looked at the immortal GU. There were very few immortal GU gained. He only obtained 3. One was a fire path immortal GU that was heavily injured. It was a GU worm that was let out. Bing Yuan was very fortunate to have obtained it. The other 2 were ant immortal GU. One was golden in color and large like a mountain. It resembled red copper. The other was small as a thumb. Its body was extremely long, like a soft white noodle. The red copper immortal ant could spit out fireballs while the white noodle immortal ant could produce large numbers of ants. These were all the products of the lingering poisonous ant plague killer move. When ants devoured the GU materials within Fire Plane Grotto Heaven, they would continue to refine themselves. Those that were mortal GU could be elevated into immortal GU. But Fang Yuan could not guess or estimate what immortal GU would be produced. From these two ants, he could still barely see their origin. The red copper fire ant should have been an arrow ant, its mouth could shoot out sharp spikes. After shooting 3 spikes, it would be weak, it would not be able to fight even a worker ant. The white noodle immortal ant should be a queen ant. It was huge and had no offensive or offensive methods, but it could rapidly produce worker ants, soldier ants, armor ants, arrow ants, and others. Army ants were just vicious insects in essence, but they could raise their strength, from being an ordinary beast, to beast king, to desolate beast, to ancient desolate beast and finally, to immemorial desolate beast level. This just was like the dark web spider in the river of time which was an immemorial desolate beast, or the tiger-striped honeybee in U003CU003C the legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E that was also an immemorial desolate beast. But after Wu Shuai's modifications, these ants that the lingering poisonous ant plague produced had undergone a qualitative change, they all became GU worms. Even though GU worms also ate food, they were the hosts of Dao mark fragments. The value of a mortal ant GU far exceeded an ordinary ant or insect. These ant GU were all tough and strong, they had intense vitality and fighting spirit. 100 ant GU could easily slaughter 100 ants of the same rank. Most GU worms had fragile bodies that could be easily crushed, but some also had tough exoskeletons and strong vitality. For example, the chainsaw golden centipede that Fang Yuan used in the past. The chainsaw golden centipede had 2 main advancement routes. One was the rank 4 chainsaw killer centipede, the other was the flying Vajra centipede, having rank 3, 4, and 5 versions. When GU masters used these 2 GU worms, the former could slaughter strong enemies while the latter could pierce bones and flesh, drilling into the enemy's body. Even at immortal GU level, such GU worms existed. Like the sword-legged dragon centipede GU. Rank 7 sword-legged dragon centipede GU was 7 li long, it had a centipede body and dragon head. Its countless limbs contained sword path Dao marks, allowing it to carry tens of thousands of swords with it. Once it coiled around its prey, these sharp swords would attack from all directions, creating bloody holes in the ancient desolate beast. It was very fierce. Wu Shuai elevated the essence of his army ants from insect to GU, they gained a huge amount of potential for growth. But this method had huge flaws. The first flaw was the immense expenditure. Originally, ants could breed themselves with just some resources expended. But to create ant GU materials would be expended for the refinement. Other than that, ant GU also needed to be fed. The price of feeding ant GU was many times higher than raising normal ants. The second flaw was regarding the level of rank 6 and above. Because immortal GU were unique, even though there could be countless desolate level ants of the same variety, there could only be one immortal GU of each breed. If there were just a few ant immortal GU, then overall, the earlier army ants with desolate beasts would be easier to form and have greater overall strength as well. However, if I use this method to cultivate them, the new army ants will also be able to expand greatly in numbers. Fang Yuan observed the red copper fire ant and white noodle queen ant as he thought. These 2 ants were immortal GU but Fang Yuan could not recreate them, he did not know their immortal GU recipes. These ant GU had successfully ascended after devouring the GU materials and immortal materials in Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. The ant plague was extremely huge, involving almost the entire Grotto Heaven, but only 2 ant immortal GU were produced in the end. The killer move lingering poisonous ant plague contained refinement path profundity, it stood at the apex of the current world's hairy man nature GU refinement technique. Nature GU refinement technique used the natural Dao marks of the outside world to refine GU and greatly raise the success rate. The moment Fang Yuan created lingering poisonous ant plague, his attainment in the nature GU refinement technique already surpassed long-hair ancestor in every aspect. These ants could refine and ascend themselves, it was not just due to the GU materials of the outside world, most importantly, Fang Yuan was expending his own unrestrained heavenly marks. Long-hair ancestor did not have any unrestrained heavenly marks after all. Using lingering poisonous ant plague, I can nurture a large number of ant immortal GU. As long as I have a large number of ant GU, if I expend a lot of resources, I will have a continuous stream of ant immortal GU produced. Even though immortal GU are unique, after obtaining red copper fire ant, I can still produce ant GU like red copper water ant or yellow gold fire ant. With just a slight difference, the immortal GU would still be considered unique. Fang Yuan made his deduction. He realized that the key obstacle to this was not the uniqueness of immortal GU but the resources needed. Using this method to nurture and immortal GU had too high of an expenditure. Refining the 2 rank 6 immortal GU, Red Copper Fire Ant and White Noodle Queen Ant, took so much in resources from Fire Plane Grotto Heaven, it was sufficient to refine more than 10 rank 7 immortal GU normally. The efficiency of using the resources was too low. Other than immortal materials and immortal GU, there were also some GU cultivation inheritances gained from taking down Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. The most valuable one was Fire Plane True Inheritance. Even though Fang Yuan did not get it from Fire Plane Grotto Lord, there was the original copy in Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. Fire Plane True Inheritance was a high-quality Fire Path True Inheritance. It had a profound method called Furious Red Heart Flames. Fire Plane Grotto Lord had used it before his death to threaten Fang Yuan to let him off. It was used in his suicide. There was also the killer move Humanly Flame Smoke. This was a Fire Path killer move with human path effects. For Fang Yuan, it was quite valuable. Lord, what do we do with these people? A subordinate GU Immortal asked. Fire Plane Grotto Heaven was a human grotto heaven. There were over 100 million purebred humans here. If they were all moved into the sovereign immortal aperture, the burden would be immense. Fang Yuan thought about it and gave his orders plainly, kill them all to construct human C. Thus, the variant human GU Immortals took action and engaged in a merciless slaughter. 100 million humans were all slaughtered. Their bones, flesh, intestines, and soul were collected and classified into different groups of GU materials. They were transported into the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's inventory. Their human chi was completely taken by human C. This incomplete artificial secluded domain of heaven and earth was obtained from Sha clan by Fang Yuan. In order to become venerable, Fang Yuan would need to get past the heavenly Tao blockade. These human path methods needed elevation to deal with it. After cleaning up the battlefield, Fang Yuan annexed the immortal apertures of all these GU Immortals, before finally targeting Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. He moved most of the resources in the Grotto Heaven into Mini Red Heaven. Because of his constant annexing recently, the Sovereign Immortal Aperture had undergone a huge change. Its development was currently at 80%. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture's GU material inventory was completely full. More than 10 more inventories were made in succession. Be they the Mini 9 Heavens or the Mini 5 regions, they all had many resource points in them, at least hundreds or thousands of them. After careful and meticulous deduction, Fang Yuan finally allocated all these resources to the most appropriate locations. Mini Red Heaven is almost full as well. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture feels packed now. Fang Yuan sighed in his heart. He felt that he was like a hungry fatty recently. He ate too much in a short period. He could not digest it well. Normally, GU Immortals cultivated one path. Their immortal aperture's environment was quite simple and easy to manage. Most GU Immortals did not have a huge immortal aperture. Only Space Path GU Immortals had the largest immortal apertures. Fang Yuan, however, was different. He cultivated all paths. The environment of his immortal aperture was very complex. Almost all sorts of resources could be grown inside. At the same time, his sovereign immortal aperture was also the largest and most unprecedented aperture. Even a Venerable's Grotto Heaven might not be this big. Thus, there were many things that he had to consider during this development. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2109 Wu Shuai, S Life in Danger. 2109 Wu Shuai, S Life in Danger. Fire path resources could not be placed too closely with water path resources, otherwise, they would affect each other's growth. Not only would production shrink, they might even be destroyed. But isolating all fire path and water path resources was also not a good idea. Because fire path resource points also affected each other, they were not completely harmonious. There were also a lot of immortal materials which had two types of Tao marks, like Giant Disaster Blazing Trees Fire Path and Luck Path. A lot of GU cultivation resources had Tao marks of two paths or more. Some resource points that produced immortal materials needed a lot of ordinary GU materials in the vicinity for production to occur. Some resources needed specific wind or water to grow as well. There were also resources that needed an opposite environment. For example, Frost Ice Flame was a fire path immortal material produced in an area of dense ice and snowpath Tao marks. Thus, Fang Yuan had prepared for this. Long ago, when annexing immortal apertures, he had specially split them up into portions and placed them scattered over the sovereign immortal aperture. All in all, Fang Yuan was mimicking the characteristics of the 5 regions and 9 heavens. For example, Mini Southern Border had many mountains, Fang Yuan chose to put earth path resources there most of the time. Or for example, Mini Red Heaven was fire-based, so Fang Yuan placed his fire path resources there. Fang Yuan could now feel the intricacy of the distribution of the 5 regions and 9 heavens. Using this design, most resources could be classified and arranged, it could greatly lower the need for him to make deductions, he could control the influence of these resource points on each other more easily. But it was not enough. Each time Fang Yuan annexed a grotto heaven, he would gain Dao marks of a certain path. With an increase of Dao marks, there would be some influence for the following period of time on the entire sovereign immortal aperture. Earlier, when he annexed Qishang Grotto Heaven, the sovereign immortal aperture gained a huge boost of Qi path Dao marks, currents started to appear all over the immortal aperture. There was the largest quantity of heaven and earth Qi, allowing the sovereign immortal aperture to have no need to open its entrance and absorb external heaven and earth Qi for some time. After that, there were profound Yin Qi, luck Qi, blood Qi, astral Qi, domination Qi, life Qi, death Qi, righteous Qi, orchid vitality Qi, elderly Qi, and other immortal materials. Dao marks affected the entire sovereign immortal aperture, allowing it to produce resources gradually from a blank state. It started with mortal GU materials, after Dao marks accumulated, a qualitative change would occur, becoming immortal level GU materials. These resources were naturally formed as a result of Dao marks. The sovereign immortal aperture was gradually filled up like this, it reached 80% development now. Other than resources, an increase in Dao marks would also affect the production of existing resources. After annexing Fire Plane Grotto Heaven and gaining a bunch of Fire Path Dao marks, the entire temperature of the immortal aperture would rise gradually, many Water Path or Wood Path resource points would suffer as a result. If he gained Metal Path Dao marks, a large amount of ores would appear in the soil, the fertility of the soil would change, affecting the growth of the vegetation above. If he gained Water Path Dao marks, there would be more rain, over time, floods might occur. If he gained Poison Path Dao marks, some plagues or diseases might erupt instead of being seasonal, they might spread widely and rapidly. If he gained Transformation Path Dao marks, many lifeforms might mutate when they grow, some might have different forms or natures, causing problems to their original groups. Thus, during this period of time, the sovereign immortal aperture had not been peaceful. Many strange things occurred at random times occasionally. Like earlier, Mini Eastern Sea had eerie winds appearing out of nowhere. Profound eerie winds swept the area, causing small islands to form on the surface of the sea. But the area in which these profound eerie winds blew did not need islands, the earth path Dao marks would obstruct the sea waves, while the soul path Dao marks would kill the weak life forms and create soul beasts, changing the natural habitat. Fang Yuan initially suspected the 2 neighboring sea areas, they were right at the core of the profound eerie winds, they were very plausibly the source of them. But after some tests and deductions, Fang Yuan found that the reason was 2 far away sea areas, their Dao marks influenced each other, like the repulsion of magnetic waves, causing profound eerie winds to be created between them. As for situations like wild beast mutation that caused problems to beast groups, the spread of plagues and diseases, the increase of wars that destroyed the homes of rockmen, the burning of forests for no apparent reason, the fall of ice shards from the sky and others, they happened continuously. All of the defending GU immortals were extremely busy, they went around taking action and salvaging the situation. Fang Yuan's main body also took action frequently, setting up immortal formations at the important resource points, like he was patching up torn clothes. The boost of Dao marks carry uncertainty, only time can digest and assimilate such issues. I need to let the sovereign immortal aperture develop and naturally acclimatize to these situations. Originally, the sovereign immortal aperture had a huge space and sparse resources, it was hard for them to affect each other. But now, after reaching 80%, there are too many resources that are closely packed together, their influence on each other is also not between 2 resources, but a large group of resources in the vicinity, they affect each other in a chain-like manner. And worse is that I used time difference Grotto Heavens method to construct year essence pools and created different time path regions. Because the areas have varying time flow, my deductions are even more complicated. When I bring in more immortal materials in the future, the deduction difficulty will rise by 100 times. It is beyond my capabilities. Such deduction difficulties were simply too high, Fang Yuan was helpless about it. Furthermore, even if I can deduce the results, I will still need to modify the location of the respective resources. Each time I relocate them, it would be like a huge surgery, expending a lot of my resources, time, and energy. I am afraid that 80% is my current limit. After understanding this, Fang Yuan felt admiration when he looked at the 5 regions in 2 heavens. The 5 regions in 2 heavens had far larger space than the sovereign immortal aperture, but all of their resources were appropriately located, they influenced each other in a harmonious way. Even when the 5 regional walls vanished, when the earth veins merged, even after the heaven veins merged, these resource points were still unchanged, they were barely affected. I see, this is heaven path. Fang Yuan's body and mind shook intensely. At this moment, he could sense the law of balancing of heaven path deeply. If my heaven path attainment level can rise to master level, I will be able to resolve this predicament and make a breakthrough. I can continue to develop the sovereign immortal aperture even further. What a pity, what a pity. In history, nobody had ever cultivated heaven path. Even though limitless demon Venerable created unrestrained heavenly mark, he was still a rule path cultivator. As for Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, he cultivated Earth Path. Fang Yuan might be the GU cultivator who had the deepest venture into Heaven Path. Fang Yuan activated Cooking Luck Pot, inspecting his own luck. He saw that above the silver-white pillar of light, there were still 3 clouds that were continuing to get larger. But the silver-white light pillar that represented Fang Yuan forcefully grew to around 4 times the original size. It was originally thin and slim, but now it was slightly thicker. This was caused by the annexation of Fire Plane Grotto Heaven. Because Fire Plane Grotto Lord and Fire Plane Grotto Heaven had their respective luck, after Fang Yuan killed and devoured the Grotto Heavens, he also expended some of his own luck. After some time, Fang Yuan's luck would recover and grow even thicker. In terms of the growth of luck, Fang Yuan was naturally the winner among them. It seems that my tactic is correct, my development far surpasses the 3 venerables during this period. But, Fang Yuan pondered. He acutely sensed that even though the silver-white light pillar expanded to 4 times of the original, it was no longer as condensed as before, it was quite loose now, the light was also no longer as clear as before. The reason why my silver-white light pillar grew this much is because I annexed many grotto heavens, my foundation rose sharply. Other than that, I also created and modified many compound killer moves, my time path clone also made many rank 8 immortal GU. But these things only reached a quantitative change, without qualitative change, it is still too loose. For example, the sovereign immortal aperture is still very unstable, the resources are not assimilated into the environment yet, I've only used some methods to forcefully place them here. If I am careless, a disaster will occur, I will suffer huge losses and my luck will fall. And even though I have many rank 8 immortal GU and compound killer moves, I still do not have a proper combat system that perfectly uses them, I cannot link them together. Thus, the silver-white light pillar is loose. Fang Yuan could feel the amazing aspect of luck path once again. Through luck inspection, not only could he understand his current circumstances, he could also inspect his own flaws and weaknesses. With this, he even had the direction that he was going to pursue next. Fang Yuan took a look at the luck of his clones as well. Qi Si Ancestor, Zhan Bu Du, Meng Chu Zhen, and the rest had increased luck. His connection with Fang Dichang was also becoming clearer. But Wu Shuai's dragon luck was not in good shape, it was actually near the brink of collapsing. What is going on? Don't tell me that after creating lingering poisonous ant plague, it actually led to a bad result. Fang Yuan soon ruled out this guess, he was quite confused internally. Among his clones, Wu Shuai was the safest in terms of circumstances. Qi Si Ancestor's true identity was a hidden threat. Meng Chu Zhen faced danger when exploring dream realms. Zhan Bu Du had already been sent away by Fang Yuan to lurk elsewhere. Li Xiaobai was a mortal GU master, he did not have much control over his situation. The time path clone made use of 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool to refine a large number of rank 8 immortal GU, yet he only had rank 6 cultivation level, if any accident occurs, he would die from backlash. Even though Wu Shuai was also trying to get stronger himself, his main responsibility was to manage the variant human alliance. How could he be in danger? And this was a fatal danger that could cost him his life. Central Continent, in an underground cave somewhere, an elderly GU immortal with a reddened nose laughed loudly. I finally got here, I did not waste my effort for the last 10 or so days without sleep. There was a rank 8 GU immortal true inheritance in front of him. The will that had been slumbering for a long time was awake, he looked at the elderly GU immortal. If you want to obtain the true inheritance of myself and my wife, you need to agree to one condition. What condition? The elderly GU immortal squinted and asked. The GU immortal will sighed. In my later years, I took in a traitorous disciple named Wu Shuai. He actually enslaved both me and my wife. If you want to obtain this true inheritance, you will need to shoulder the responsibility of taking revenge. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2110 Golden Bottle Drunken Wine. 2110 Golden Bottle Drunken Wine. The elderly GU Immortal's eyelids twitched. He had a certain guess. He asked, "So you are Senior Green and Ascetic, your wife must be Senior Wine Fairy." The GU Immortal will nodded. Indeed. The old GU Immortal let out a breath of air. To speak truthfully, this junior is a GU Immortal of Eastern Sea, Zui Xian Wang. Over 1,000,000 years have passed since your death. The GU Immortal will was slightly stunned before sighing. Such a long time has passed back then. To prevent that traitorous disciple from finding us, we specially hid our inheritance in an extremely concealed area. To think that it ended up like this, that traitorous disciple must have died already. After pausing for a while, the GU Immortal will thought of something and said, "Wait, Zui Xian Wang, put away your defensive method, let me test the truth of your words. How can I know if you are not one of my traitorous disciples' subordinates that came here to trick me?" Zui Xian Wang hesitated for a moment but did not attack immediately. He was not confident in dealing with the arrangements here. He spoke the truth. "I do not know if Wu Shuai is dead or not, but the situation is like this." Zui Xian Wang quickly explained everything. Green and ascetics will became stunned again. What in the world had happened? Was this still Heavenly Court? Fate GU was actually destroyed. GU Fang Yuan. It was hard to imagine the existence of such a great demon in the world, truly a misfortune for the common people. Green and ascetics will only accepted the facts after a long time. To think that the world became like this after 1,000,000 years. Fate GU was destroyed, even Duke Long lost and died. Whether that Wu Shuai actually revived or if he is just Fang Yuan's clone is no longer important, since that Fang Yuan inherited Dragon Palace, he will also inherit this grudge. Green and ascetics will said firmly. "So Zui Xian Wang, are you willing to oppose Fang Yuan for this true inheritance?" Green Ants will asked. Zui Xian Wang was silent for a long time before taking in a deep breath, gritting his teeth. "I am willing to do that." "All right, we will make the agreement." According to the instructions of Green Ant's will, Zui Xian Wang made his vow. "Accept this inheritance, the two of us put all our effort into it, we created a killer move called Golden Bottle Drunken Wine. Golden Bottle contains green ants, drunken wine dilutes dragon chi. Army Ant was created by me, I hid the one weakness of these ants extremely deeply, that traitorous disciple had no idea all along. As long as you use this Golden Bottle Drunken Wine killer move, you will be able to send the army ants into chaos and cause a backlash on the user. Most importantly, this is a food path killer move, it is hard to guard against. So Senior has prepared for it." Zui Xian Wang's eyes shined with bright light. "I cannot stay in this place for long. Senior, please go into my immortal aperture, you can inform me of the remaining information later." Okay. Green Ants will flew into Zui Xian Wang's immortal aperture, the latter took all the inheritance away and left. Zui Xian Wang only took a glimpse of the inheritance details before feeling great joy internally. This inheritance contained Green Ant Ascetic's enslavement path inheritance as well as Wine Fairy's food path true inheritance. The value of the enslavement path true inheritance was not high for Zui Xian Wang, but the Wine Fairy true inheritance was simply too valuable to him. "It was not a waste of my effort to come here, it was worth it." A smile appeared on Zui Xian Wang's face. But the moment he left the place and arrived in the outside world, his expression immediately changed. A battlefield killer move had been set up, it activated at once and trapped Zui Xian Wang. Heavenly Court, Qin Ding Ling. Zui Xian Wang was shocked to find out that Heavenly Court's GU immortals were surrounding him. The leader was a female immortal, she had a tall nose, thin lips and eyes, a body covered in golden armor, her legs were long and smooth, she wore a white cape on her back, she radiated an elegant and noble aura, she had an air of indomitability. She was the current leader of Heavenly Court, rank 8 luck path grade expert, Qin Ding Ling. Zui Xian Wang's heart sank to rock bottom, he broke out in cold sweat. "It seems that I will lose my life in this fight." Thoughts flashed rapidly in his mind. Zui Xian Wang gritted his teeth and cupped his fists. "I am willing to contribute all my inheritances, I will make contributions to the righteous path." Qin Ding Ling smiled brightly, emanating with heroic aura. "Green Ant Ascetics and Wine Fairies' inheritances are good, but is our Heavenly Court so greedy? We are the righteous leaders of over 3,000,000 years, the #1 super force in the world. Since you had the fortune to find this inheritance, then it belongs to you. Please do us the honor, sit down and have a cup of tea." Saying so, Qin Dingling sat cross-legged in the air. She took out cushions, a table, and cups. Zui Xianwang sat down without a choice. Qin Dingling personally poured tea for him. Tea fragrance spread out, but Zui Xianwang felt his heart turning cold as ice. His entire body was shivering, his cold sweat could not stop pouring. What status did Qin Dingling have? She was actually treating an Eastern Sea lone immortal like Zui Xianwang in such a respectful manner. She certainly had huge motivations behind this. Feel free to drink it. Qin Dingling stretched out her arm, smiling as she pointed. Zui Xianwang had no choice but to take a sip. He immediately placed the cup down. He asked while faking calmness, "I wonder what Lady Qin wants to say to me." The smile on Qin Dingling's lips became even wider. She spoke casually, "Haven't you already guessed my intention? Zui Xianwang, you are a smart person. No need to be so pessimistic. In the current world, even though demons have the upper hand, it is only temporary. Even throughout the history of millions of years, the righteous path has been dominant for most of the time, while the demonic path can only hide at some corners. We are currently in a special era, so some geniuses will wreak havoc. Don't think that they are domineering and overpowering, they are merely the pioneers that will pave a road for the venerables ahead." Zui Xianwang lowered his head, not daring to make eye contact with Qin Dingling. His arms were placed on the table as he clenched them uncontrollably, his palms were covered in sweat. In this tough situation, no matter what overbearing request Qin Dingling states, I have no choice but to agree to it. Zui Xianwang sighed in his head with great sadness. But Qin Dingling took out some evidence immediately after. Not long after, star constellation Immortal Venerable will revive and return to Heavenly Court. She will lead the rise of Heavenly Court once again. Zui Xianwang saw the evidence and became deeply shocked. Star constellation Immortal Venerable's revival. Qin Dingling smiled. Fate Gu has been destroyed, even venerables can be resurrected now. Demon Immortal Qi Ju is the best example now, but he has already been suppressed by my Heavenly Court. If even Demon Immortal Qi Ju can revive, how can our venerables not do so? Our Heavenly Court has 3 venerables, throughout the world, which superforce can rival us? Zui Xianwang stared in a dumbfounded manner, thoughts started to collide rapidly in his mind. He had already decided to say yes, but after seeing proof of star constellation Immortal Venerable's revival, the balance in his heart was tilted towards Heavenly Court. Even though Fang Yuan was strong as the #1 demon, he only had pseudo-venerable battle strength. He could not compare to a venerable. In the millions of years of human history, there had only been 10 venerables, each one had shown their invincibility in their respective eras. Venerables were invincible. No matter how many pseudo-venerables there were, they could not match a venerable in the end. While Heavenly Court had the most number of venerables, primordial origin, star constellation, Genesis Lotus. Other than that, the only other super force that had a venerable was Longevity Heaven. Zui Xianwang's expression became calm gradually. "I am willing to work for Heavenly Court," he said in a solemn tone. "Let's set the agreement." Qin Dingling shook her hands. "No need for that. With that Fang Yuan's ability, he will notice if we make an agreement. Furthermore, you need to return to Eastern Sea and join the Righteous Qi Alliance." "We will not set an agreement." Zui Xianwang was stunned. Qin Dingling added, "Write me a copy of the true inheritance, Heavenly Court will try to provide you the relevant Immortal Gu." Zui Xianwang was stunned again, he sighed in his heart. "No agreement and they are also giving me Immortal Gu." Qin Dingling waved her hand again, "You can leave now." This subordinate takes his leave. Zui Xianwang left the battlefield with completely stunned emotions. It was truly unbelievable, he was freed just like that. What Zui Xianwang felt was deep admiration. He started to admire Heavenly Court from the depths of his heart. This is the caliber of the #1 force in the world. Qin Dingling is not afraid that I will not follow the agreement. With this attitude, she clearly doesn't think much of the inheritance. I am merely just one of her casual pawns. If I do not follow the agreement in the future, unlike Fang Yuan, can't Heavenly Court easily deal with me? Zui Xianwang was filled with a chilly feeling internally. While watching him leave, Fang Zheng could not help but ask, "Lady Qin Dingling, we're letting him go like this. What if he goes to join Fang Yuan and betrays us? Wouldn't we be giving this inheritance to Fang Yuan as well? Are we going to give up this method to counter Wu Shuai?" Fang Zheng was very familiar with the content of the inheritance. It turned out that Heavenly Court had found this inheritance long ago, but before taking it, Qin Dingling had some intuition. Her instincts told her to not take the inheritance, it would be better to make her move 3 days later. Qin Dingling followed her instincts and waited for 3 days, finally trapping Zui Xianwang. At this point, she realized the meaning behind her intuition. Qin Dingling smiled. Fang Yuan possesses the sovereign immortal aperture and has annexed many grotto heavens. He even has Paradise Earth's inheritor and the variant human alliance under him. We cannot estimate the speed of his growth at all. If we set an agreement with Zui Xianwang, it will leave a huge piece of evidence behind. However, when Zui Xianwang drank the tea, I had already used my method to influence his luck. This will cause him to become enemies with Fang Yuan without doubt. Fang Zheng was not convinced. He held on to his beliefs. Even so, I feel that we should gain a complete hold of this inheritance and use it as a trump card against Fang Yuan. This Zui Xianwang is just a lone cultivator of Eastern Sea. Qin Dingling chuckled. You are underestimating Zui Xianwang while also overestimating the value of this inheritance. Zui Xianwang is a person who can endure hardship. He is a wise man who knows his circumstances. He possesses one of the 3 pools in the world, wine pool. He is a food path expert. The inheritance of his lineage has always been passed down very stably, while his luck is also very deep and sturdy. Food path is powerful. While Zui Xianwang cultivates food path solely, he can almost be considered a representative figure of this path. This has significant meaning. As for this inheritance, Qin Dingling shook her head. In my opinion, the most valuable thing is not the killer move golden bottle drunken wine, but that human path wine drinker immortal GU recipe. This inheritance that Green Ant Ascetic and Wine Fairy created together contained a human path immortal GU recipe. Wine Drinker GU, similar to Hero GU, Scholar GU, Craftsman GU, and Farmer GU, except that it was not at the mortal level, it was an immortal GU. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2111 Beast Tamer GU. 2111 Beast Tamer GU. Fang Zheng blinked a few times, having understood something. You mean to say that even if Golden Bottle Drunken Wine is effective and kills Wu Shuai successfully, he is still just a clone of Fang Yuan's, it will not truly shake his foundation. Right now, with Dragon Palace destroyed, Wu Shuai's biggest use is gone. Meanwhile, the Wine Drinker Immortal GU recipe is the symbol of human path prosperity. It will be the path that our heavenly court will focus on in the future. Qin Dingling patted Fang Zheng's shoulder. You have learned well. No matter how strong Fang Yuan is, he is not a threat unless he becomes venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable has already succeeded in Crazed Demon Cave. The most urgent matter is to bring her back now. No matter how great of a commotion Fang Yuan causes, he is just like a cicada's cry at the end of autumn. He has few days remaining. I am not Fang Yuan's match while Heavenly Court cannot afford another loss. Thus, I have been dragging on the matter about the Eastern Sea Righteous Qi Alliance. Right now, we need to put in effort for the Crazed Demon Cave battle. It will not be easy to bring back our Venerable. We need to conserve strength and prioritize on that. As long as Star Constellation Immortal Venerable returns to Heavenly Court, even 10 of Fang Yuan added together cannot cause any problems for us. Yes, you are absolutely right. Fang Zheng did not refute nor hold any suspicions towards Qin Dingling's plan. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had already proven her strength in history. She had succeeded Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's position and stabilized the fruits of humanity's labor. She expanded on the prosperity of humanity by getting involved in the other 4 regions. Before dying, she plotted against 3 demon venerables and preserved Heavenly Court when they attacked. She was truly a great and noble contributor. Fang Zheng sighed internally. Fang Yuan, I am not your match. Right now, even Heavenly Court is inferior, but someone can deal with you in the end. Throughout history, evil has never prevailed. If Star Constellation Immortal Venerable makes a move, can you stop her? You are already finished. Even though I understand you, I will not pity you. You deserve a bitter end. This is the price to pay for all the sins you have committed. Fang Yuan inspected the inheritance in his hand. He read through it rapidly. With Meng Chu Zhen exploring dream realms for him, all of his attainment levels were rising shockingly. Using these attainment levels, all sorts of inheritances felt shallow in his eyes. Only a small number could give him a decent surprise at times. These inheritances mostly came from Qi-Si ancestor and the variant human alliance. Because of the Qi tides, Eastern Sea's exposed inheritances were mostly gathered into Fang Yuan's hands now. Of course, there were still some excellent inheritances that were kept secret by the lucky forces not contributing them. But Fang Yuan did not mind it. At his current level, most inheritances in the world had little to no value from his perspective. His attainment was too high. In just a few breaths of time, he could create a superb inheritance himself. These inheritances were merely a small supplement to his theories and knowledge base. Treasure Yellow Heaven also has inheritance transactions. This is really a rare sight. Fang Yuan suddenly thought of something. He could transact most of these inheritances that he currently had. What was the point of transactions? It was to exchange with others for some things that you were more suitable with, in order to cultivate more smoothly. Because doing this had benefits for Fang Yuan to become venerable. One of the 4 venerable ascension conditions was to break through the heavenly Tao blockade. The heavenly Tao sought balance and suppressed Gu immortals and venerables. The more widely spread these inheritances were, the stronger the cultivators would become, and the more effort the heavenly Tao would need to suppress them. This way, when Fang Yuan reaches a crucial moment in his venerable ascension, the heavenly Tao blockade that obstructed him would fall in strength relatively. This point was proven by historical records as well. During the 10 venerables eras, countless geniuses emerged one after another. Grand heroes existed at the same time, being as numerous as the stars in the sky. To break through the heavenly Tao blockade, other than luck path, there is also human path. Divine Emperor City is the sacred land of human path. If I can obtain the human path essence inside it, it will help me greatly. Fang Yuan thought. Divine Emperor City, painting world. In a market within the city, people gathered together to watch the performance at the center of the square. A middle-aged man with a muscular body wore beast skin clothing and held a leather whip in his hands as he swung it. As the leather whip moved, it emitted cracking sounds. A leopard danced around on the ground while following the tune of the whip. The middle-aged man suddenly stored his whip. He placed his head into the leopard's huge mouth. The leopard opened its mouth widely. Its teeth were sharp as blades, only millimeters away from the man's skull. The surrounding audience gasped loudly. But the leopard did not bite it. After waiting for some time, the middle-aged man moved his head out again. Immediately, applause resounded. The middle-aged man took out a bronze bowl and walked around the audience while holding it. He moved quickly as he raised the bowl, shouting, "Friends, if you have money, please support me, otherwise, please help to promote my performance. Haha, if you think this was enjoyable, don't hesitate to give some tips." The middle-aged man's entertaining performance was well liked by the audience. A large number of primeval stones were tossed into the bronze bowl as they emitted sharp sounds. Not far away, a human path great expert, Eastern Seas rank 8 Gu Immortal Shen Shang, watched with a stunned expression. "This is the reason why I got you to come here," Fang Dichong said, as he sat beside Shen Shang and drank tea. Shen Shang finally retracted his gaze. "Amazing, amazing," he praised uncontrollably. "This Divine Emperor City painting world is really amazing." The middle-aged man was a beast tamer. This profession had never existed in the painting world before. But after the 10 children of human path led their troops to explore growling beast painting world and returned in failure, they recuperated for some time and this profession appeared. In the market, in addition to Hero Gu, Scholar Gu, Soldier Gu, and Craftsman Gu, there was a new type of Gu, Beast Tamer Gu. Once Beast Tamer Gu was activated, it could turn into a Beast Tamer. Beast Tamers were specialized to deal with wild beasts. They were more proficient at taming wild beasts to use for themselves. Evidently, this new Beast Tamer Gu was created to deal with growling beast painting world. Who created this new Gu worm? Shen Shang asked. Fang Dichong shook his head. Beast Tamer Gu appeared so naturally. I did my best to investigate but I found no specific targets. Shen Shang nodded. Your beggar sect is the strongest information collection organization in here. It might not be a person, it might be this painting world itself or Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's arrangement. Fang Dichong took in a breath of human will Gu to replenish himself before saying, now that Beast Tamer Gu has appeared, growling beast painting world will be at a disadvantage. It is only a matter of time until it is taken down. The scariest part of human path likely lies here. I underestimated this path after all. Shen Shang moved his fingers around the cup as he concluded. Now it seems that there are 3 types of human path Gu worms. The first are profession Gu, for example, Craftsman Gu, Hero Gu, and Beast Tamer Gu. The second are organizational position Gu, for example your beggar sect Gu and sect elder Gu. The third type are human emotion and virtue Gu, for example, traveling son Gu and doting mother Gu. Human emotion and virtue Gu. Brother Shen, it seems that you have made great progress in your cultivation recently. That is an appropriate classification. Fang Dichong congratulated. Shen Shang waved his hand. I am ashamed, that is merely a classification of my own opinion. Traveling Sun Gu and Doting Mother Gu were once regarded as emotion path Gu worms, but in essence, they were actually human path. This was quite a common sight in history as well. The essence of Gu worms usually only showed itself after the path progressed to a certain level. The painting world is really the sacred land of human path. I am feeling quite expectant now. When the 10 children of human path leave this place and bring human path to the world of the 5 regions, I wonder how big the commotion will be. Many different Gu worms will be classified into human path by then. Shen Shang said with deep emotions. I believe that many human path Gu worms scattered and forgotten somewhere in the world will gain recognition from people once again. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable had truly made a noble achievement. Before him, human path was like the leaves on a tree, it only concerned a small individual group of cultivators. But Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable created the painting world, he held up the tree of human path and supported its trunk, allowing it to grow and nurture. Human path was no longer empty internally, it was a complete path now. It had most of the foundational roots and sturdy roots, it even had countless leaves on it. Fang Dichong did not speak, he was feeling increasingly worried in his heart. Even though he had not gotten a clear understanding of Divine Emperor City and the painting world's profundities, there was already something that was certain to him. Human path was bound to prosper, Heavenly Court had already started to focus on developing this path. I am afraid that developing human path has become Heavenly Court's main strategy. This path is not simple, what should my main body do now? He might not even know this yet, I am only a lump of will that is barely surviving. How can I inform my main body of this crucial information? With the destruction of Fate Gu, anything could happen in the world. Demon Immortal Chi-Ju and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had already revived, the prophecy of 3 Venerables was no longer certain, human path and food path had the chance of prospering in this new era. Dream path was mentioned in the prophecy of 3 Venerables, it was originally the fated path that was meant to prosper or even rule over this new era. In the past, human path was something that only Venerables or individuals with great talent could comprehend. But after Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable strengthened its roots and foundation, human path was already suitable for everyone to cultivate. Heavenly Court owned Divine Emperor City, this was a huge advantage in itself. As for food path, this path was created in the olden antiquity era and had never been widely spread. Now, without the restriction of fate, it also started to show signs of prosperity. The entire world had gone chaotic because of Fang Yuan. The dead were reviving, secluded paths were now starting to prosper. As for the future, Fang Dichong shook his head, the future was too complex and uncertain, he could not see clearly beyond this chaos. Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. He Lu Lan was summoned by Immortal Zombie Giant Sun. He Lu Lan, my descendant, it is now time for you to risk your life. Immortal Zombie Giant Sun got right to the point, you want to surpass that Gu Fang Yuan. Now is your chance, go into Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2112 Totem Killer Move. 2112 Totem Killer Move. He Lu Lan woke up and opened her eyes in a daze. Where is this? Her blurry vision started to clear up, she found that she was lying on a stone bed. Around the stone bed, there was a large tent made of skin. At the center of the tent, there was a huge pot hanging on a metal rack. The pot was bubbling and seemingly contained boiling soup. At the bottom of the pot, there was a red rat spewing fire continuously. You woke up. The flap of the tent was pulled aside as a person walked in. This was a beautiful middle-aged woman, her clothes were quite simple, she had a beast skin top and skirt, her shoulders, tummy, and half of her breasts were exposed. On her chest and back, there was a blue phoenix tattoo, not only was it very vivid and lively, it even emitted a faint blue light. He Lu Lan struggled and managed to sit up. During the process, she found that her clothes had been changed as well, it was the same as the middle-aged woman, having a wild and brutish style. I am Desolate Extremity Lu Tong Lan, you are now inside Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven. The middle-aged woman smiled as she walked towards He Lu Lan. He Lu Lan had fully woken up now. Longevity Heaven had the 8 extremities, their names were Heaven, Earth, Black, Yellow, Space, Time, Flood and Desolate respectively. Black extremity was Sun Ming Lu, he cultivated Formation Path. This woman in front of her was Desolate Extremity, she had been staying within Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven. Lady Lu, what should I do? He Lu Lan inquired. Immortal Zombie Giant Sun had only told her to listen to Desolate Extremity's instructions after arriving here. Lu Tong Lan smiled. In here, you should call me Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader. Your current identity is my illegitimate daughter. I birthed you long ago and left you outside. Recently, when relocating the tribe, I found you by accident and brought you back. Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven has countless tribes. We coexist with the beasts. It is very different from the 5 regions. Every 10,000 years, all the tribes would gather and hold the Myriad Tribes ceremony. This is your fortuitous encounter. Alright, now, you need to start drinking soup. Lu Tonglan scooped a huge bowl of hot soup and passed it to He Lulan. He Lulan sat at the side of the bed. She held the hot metal bowl. The fragrance of food drifted into her nose. She was currently hungry. She immediately drank a large mouthful. But when the soup entered her mouth, it had a peculiar and spicy taste. It was not nice at all. Cough cough. He Lulan was not prepared for this. She almost gagged on reflex. But Lu Tonglan had a solemn expression. Drink it, this soup is extremely important for you. You need to finish every single drop of it in the pot. Drink. He Lulan knew that this was a mortal zombie giant son's arrangement. She frowned as she drank one bowl, followed by another. By the third bowl, she could not take it anymore. Her stomach was bloated and painful. Lu Tonglan had been guarding her the entire time. Seeing this, she nodded. Stop here for now, your body is at its limit. He Lulan started to experience diarrhea. It was very serious. She almost went weak from it. But Lu Tonglan did not let her off. Even though He Lulan was lying down in a weak state, Lu Tonglan brought the bowl over and poured the hot soup into her mouth. He Lulan drank as the diarrhea intensified. She felt extremely terrible. What is the point of drinking this soup? He Lulan asked. Lu Tonglan answered. Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven is different from the 5 regions. Those who succeed in life are those who can eat well. I specially prepared this soup for you to expand your appetite. During the process of having diarrhea, your body is adapting to it. Even though it is initially very severe and seems nearly fatal, the symptoms will gradually become lighter. In less than 3 days, you will be back to normal and feel extremely hungry. He Lulan stayed in the stone bed for 2 days and nights before regaining her strength. She could barely walk again. By the 3rd day, like what Lu Tonglan had said, she recovered her strength and the diarrhea was gone. Her appetite increased and her stomach growled since the early morning. Lu Tonglan cooked soup for He Lulan again. This is meat soup. It is different from before. Lu Tonglan said while taking out 5 to 6 rats and tossed them into the pot. The rats struggled in the pot, squeaking loudly. Lu Tonglan's expression did not change. She took out several poisonous snakes of various colors, tossing them into the pot. The snakes and rats gradually melted in the soup, floating at the top like colorful mud. Lu Tonglan took out several black rocks that resembled charcoal and tossed them inside as well. He Lulan's eyelids were twitching at first, but soon she understood certain details. Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, are you refining GU? He Lulan asked in curiosity. She saw that when making the soup, Lu Tonglan used many refinement path techniques. Lu Tonglan continued to cook the soup as she smiled and said, He Lulan, you are quite perceptive. This snake rat soup is already done. He Lulan was stunned. She watched as Lu Tonglan stopped cooking the soup. Did the GU refinement fail? This is a pity, He Lulan said. After all, the snakes and rats used earlier were ancient desolate beasts. But Lu Tonglan shook her head. I said before, I am brewing soup, not refining GU. The snake rat soup is very perfect. You need to drink it all. What? He Lulan was stunned again. Lu Tonglan scooped a huge bowl of soup and passed it to He Lulan. He Lulan drank a mouthful and frowned immediately. This soup was 10 times as disgusting as the diarrhea soup earlier. With just one mouthful, her entire tongue went numb, even her throat was gradually becoming numb. By the time she finished the hot soup, her entire body expanded like a balloon, even her skin and flesh were bloated. Hair started to grow on her body rapidly. The hair grew extremely quickly. After a few minutes, He Lulan's hair almost filled the entire tent. And the hair had various colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, azure, blue, purple, white, black. There were various colors of differing quantity, none of them were the same. Lu Tonglan inspected the hair, even counting the number of hairs of each color meticulously. Next, at her will, the blue phoenix tattoo on her chest floated up and spat out a lump of blue fire. The blue fire burned the hair. In almost an instant, all of He Lulan's newly grown hair was gone. He Lulan stared with wide eyes and asked curiously, what method is this? It is really amazing. I am completely unharmed. Lu Tonglan smiled. This is my blue phoenix totem. Inside Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven, totems are the mainstream way of cultivation. Even though we use GU worms as well, totems are the symbol of our strength and status. He Lu Lan's eyes shined with bright light. If I am not wrong, this totem is not simple, each line and marking on the totem is a Tao mark. The essence of the totem is a killer move. There actually exists such an amazing method in the world. Does everyone cultivate totems in here? Ha ha ha, Lu Tong Lan laughed even louder. Hey Lu Lan, you are the genius that our Lord chose to send here indeed. You saw the essence of the totem with just one glimpse. Indeed, our GU cultivation killer moves use GU worms or expend GU materials. While GU worms are fragments of the great Tao, GU materials are agglomerations of Tao marks. The totems here use the same logic, it is just that the cultivation way uses GU worms to assist slightly, the main method is still to rely on our consumption and digestion. Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven is Reckless Savage Demon Venerable's Immortal Aperture. This demon Venerable left his immortal aperture within the body of the gluttonous demon frog, allowing this grotto heaven to have a food path environment. The gluttonous demon frog was a legendary immemorial beast, it contained an unimaginable number of food path Tao marks. With the influence of food path Tao marks, within Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven, humans could eat GU materials to increase their corresponding Tao marks. Using the GU worms here, they can gradually construct their own totems. He Lu Lan did not guess wrongly, totems were a special type of killer move. Normally, they would stay on the surface of the GU cultivator's body. Once primeval essence or immortal essence was instilled, they would turn solid and fly out to fight. Totem killer moves have a lot of advantages. Ordinary killer moves need to activate GU worms and expend thoughts when they are used spontaneously. But totems only need to be constructed beforehand, you can save a lot of effort and time as a result. In the 5 regions outside world, even though GU houses also contain fixed killer moves, totems can be refined and improved upon continuously. Meanwhile, strong immortal GU houses have no room for improvement. Lu Tong Lan continued to explain. He Lu Lan started to frown. I have the great strength true martial physique, I should cultivate strength path, but this totem seems to be a transformation path killer move. Lu Tong Lan shook her head. Not quite so. The other specialty of totems is that they can be suitable for all GU paths. I, for example, cultivate fire path. After devouring all sorts of materials, I use GU worms to construct my blue phoenix totem killer move. This totem is a fire path killer move, it is very suitable for me. As for you cultivating strength path, you can also construct your own strength path totem. He Lu Lan cupped her fists and said solemnly, please teach me, senior. Of course. Lu Tong Lan pointed at the empty pot. The snake rat soup I gave you to drink earlier is meant to decipher your physique and learn what ingredients you are suitable to eat, and what kinds of ingredients are the best for your natural absorption and contain the most nutrients you need. As for your totem, it is something unique to you, only you will know what it truly becomes. There were countless totems, even if they looked similar, each one was different. Lu Tong Lan continued to speak in concern. Hey Lu Lan, you need to make use of your time and quickly construct your totem. This killer move is the only method you can use when you join the Myriad Tribe's ceremony. After He Lu Lan understood all this background information, she started to wholeheartedly cultivate this method. Each time Lu Tong Lan cooked something, she would eat it without leaving anything behind, using this food path environment to allow her body to absorb Tao marks. Lu Tong Lan initially boiled soup, gradually, there was meat and vegetables, she also added more grains as well. All of the food had one similarity, they tasted horrible. But He Lu Lan was an ambitious person, as long as it could raise her strength, she could eat anything regardless of the taste, even if she felt intense pain in her stomach countless times, as if she was in living hell. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2113 Eating People. 2113 Eating People. He Lu Lan cultivated while sitting on the stone bed. Long after, she opened her eyes slowly. She lowered her head and looked at her chest. There was a totem. The totem was very simplistic and only had a few strokes, however, the markings were very clear, one could see a black cat that was drawn on it. The black cat was young and small, it looked very adorable, its tail was raised up as its back was crouched, its front paws grabbed the ground, as if it was going to pounce at the next moment. Desolate Extremity lent me the relevant GU worms. Using them, the first form of my totem killer move has been completed. He Lu Lan calculated the time in her mind. Ever since she came here and cultivated the first form of her totem, 30 days had passed. During these 30 days, He Lu Lan did not leave even once, other than eating and attending to daily affairs, she only cultivated the entire time. She did not relax or slack off at any moment, she worked really hard. Suddenly, there was an argument outside the tent. Blue Phoenix tribe leader, you are going overboard. Indeed, these last days, you used so many ingredients in our inventory for your illegitimate daughter. Initially, you used the ancient desolate beast single-horned deer to increase your daughter's appetite. After that you made the snake rat soup and used ancient desolate beast snakes and rats just to find out the recipe most suited for your daughter. After that, you have been consistently draining our reserves dry, the ingredients you pick are at least desolate beast level. We nominated you as the leader but you are being so selfish, you have let down the entire tribe's expectations. He Lu Lan heard this and showed a peculiar expression. It seems that the tribe elders were currently questioning and blaming their tribe leader Lu Tong Lan. Speaking of which, I have been using a lot of immortal materials recently, is Desolate Extremity unable to control the situation anymore? He Lu Lan guessed. At the next moment, Lu Tong Lan's voice resounded, tribe elders, no need to be angry. I am doing this for the sake of our tribe. Lan, come out. He Lu Lan heard this and finally left the tent that she had stayed in for a month's time. This was a valley with lush greenery, there was a river not far away. There were tents of various sizes all around, they formed into a tribe. The tent that He Lu Lan was in was right at the center, it was the safest location. At the same time, this was the largest tent in this place. At the area outside of the tent, a group of people confronted Lu Tong Lan. These people were also wearing beast skin and exposed a large portion of their body, most of them were elderly people, being all GU immortals. The thing that attracted He Lu Lan's attention were the totems on their bodies. Lan, come over here. Lu Tong Lan waved. He Lu Lan did not speak as she walked towards Lu Tong Lan. The tribe elders' gazes were focused on He Lu Lan's body, or more precisely, on her chest. The expressions of the elders started to change. Some were in disbelief, while some became very excited. This is, has my vision gone bad? Can anyone confirm with me, is this the Dark Capital Strength Tiger? Lu Tong Lan smiled. Indeed, this is the Dark Capital Strength Tiger totem. The tribe elders were silent, their bodies were shaking from agitation. Lu Tong Lan continued. I know what you want to ask, since my daughter has the Dark Capital Strength Tiger totem, I am sure you all understand she has the sacred physique. Only the sacred physique can cultivate the Dark Capital Strength Tiger totem. The elders gasped at once. Lu Tong Lan waited for some time, after their discussions became softer, she continued, now, do you still think that I am being selfish? Of course not. An elder shook his head and said with a firm attitude. This is the sacred physique, it allows a person to directly advance in the myriad tribe ceremony and challenge the predicament. An elder stared at He Lu Lan with a heated and excited gaze. As long as the sacred physique survives in the myriad tribe ceremony, our entire tribe will benefit from it, we will become one of the backup sacred tribes. Another elder started to dream about the beautiful future. Sacred physique, are they referring to my great strength true martial physique? He Lu Lan calmed down because she knew that the entire situation was still firmly within Lu Tong Lan's control. Lu Tong Lan's lips curled up. Why just the backup, can't we directly become the sacred tribe? The elders, expressions froze before quickly shaking their heads. Tribe leader, don't be so hasty. Your daughter has rank 7 cultivation level but to become the winner of the myriad tribe ceremony, her cultivation level is not high enough. We need to be patient, as long as she becomes rank 8, we will not need to challenge anything, according to the customs, she will be the sacred king. We need to protect and nurture her in order to become the sacred tribe. Why do we need to take a risk? Lu Tong Lan was silent for a while before nodding. Elders, you are right, I was too hasty. But undeniably, the stronger Lan becomes, the higher our position in the myriad tribe ceremony, and the more benefits our tribe will receive. Isn't that right? The elders nodded. Of course. Lu Tong Lan suddenly bowed. Thus, I hope everyone can understand and help to improve Lan's totem with your full effort. The more benefits she receives, the more gains we will have later on. The elders reacted and some nodded in agreement, while others pointed at Lu Tong Lan and smiled brightly. So this was all part of your scheme, Blue Phoenix tribe leader. Because of Lu Tong Lan's meticulous arrangement, He Lu Lan was accepted by the tribe at her first appearance. He Lu Lan also understood that one of the main reasons why Immortal Zombie Giant Sun sent her here was because the great strength true martial physique was really useful in myriad beast fusion color heaven. Afterwards, He Lu Lan asked Lu Tong Lan why the great strength true martial physique was considered the sacred physique in this place and why it had such a huge status. Lu Tong Lan answered, the rumor is that reckless savage demon Venerable has the great strength true martial physique. Nobody can confirm if this rumor is true or not. This was not important, He Lu Lan soon left this information behind. She continued cultivating her totem killer move. This time, not only did Blue Phoenix tribe leader Lu Tong Lan help her, the entire tribe was also chipping in. He Lu Lan's totem soon grew from a small cat into a black leopard. At this point, the elders' help also started to dwindle. Throughout the process, the immortal material expenditure was immense. But the good news for He Lu Lan was that her dark capital strength tiger totem had incredible power when used, far beyond her previous methods. The dark capital strength tiger totem became her strongest killer move. But this is not enough. Desolate extremity Lu Tong Lan said truthfully once after cultivating, since our Lord sent you here, I will do my best to nurture you and not let our Lord down. Those elders did not use up their inventory, but I do not have much resources left. Don't worry, in a few days, the situation will change. The elders had their descendants too, even though He Lu Lan had the sacred physique, she was still the tribe leader's descendant, the elders would not expend all their resources for her, this was a natural thing. Several days later, Blue Phoenix tribe was suddenly attacked by their mortal enemy Fire Blend tribe, they suffered huge losses and were forced to escape from the valley. While retreating, Blue Phoenix tribe leader led her troops and retaliated harshly. Fire Blend tribe was caught off guard and was forced out of the valley, allowing Blue Phoenix tribe to regain their territory. Fire Blend tribe was not resigned to give up, they stayed outside the valley and went into a stalemate with Blue Phoenix tribe, waiting for an opportunity to arise. Late at night on this day, Lu Tong Lan brought He Lu Lan away from the gathering point, going to a cave in the valley to meet Fire Blend tribe leader. Fire Blend tribe leader looked at the shocked He Lu Lan and smiled while explaining, I am Yellow Extremity Zhao Huo. It turned out that this situation was just Lu Tong Lan's and Zhao Huo's performance. Zhao Huo took out a large amount of immortal materials and handed them to Lu Tong Lan. These are all the GU materials I can find that are suitable for He Lu Lan. Other than that, we have these. Zhao Huo had a strange expression as he took out several corpses. These were the corpses of Fire Blend tribe's GU immortal elders who had died from battle earlier. Lu Tong Lan also took out several corpses, these were the ones sacrificed from Blue Phoenix tribe. In front of He Lu Lan, Zhao Huo started to cut the meat while Lu Tong Lan prepared the pot and flame. He Lu Lan was stunned. You want me to eat these people? Zhao Huo cut the human flesh as he smiled. No need to think of them as humans, just treat them as immortal materials. Normally speaking, when GU immortals die, as long as they are not immortal zombies, their Dao marks will go back into their immortal apertures. But the GU cultivators here are different, their immortal aperture will be digested by myriad beast fusion color heaven before it falls in place, the totem killer moves on them are created by Dao marks, they are fixed and contain the most value within the body. Saying so, Zhao Huo picked out a few pieces of meat from the pile and tossed them into the pot. Lu Tong Lan stirred the meat soup while saying, He Lu Lan, there aren't many pieces of meat that suit you. But because they are humans after all, they are easier for you to absorb, it will help greatly in your totem's growth. He Lu Lan turned pale as her voice changed slightly, as the act of eating people popularized in this myriad beast fusion color heaven. Lu Tong Lan looked at the human meat soup in the pot as she said plainly, of course not. Even though eating people can help the growth of totems, it is still a demonic act. Publicly eating your tribesmen means you are a demonic path member, you will face judgment. That is why we brought you here secretly to hide from the rest. You have the sacred physique, but if you are found to be eating people, your status will be lost. There is no helping it, we have little time, to raise your strength to the limit, eating humans is the best way. It's cooked, go ahead and eat. Lu Tong Lan served the soup as He Lu Lan received it with a numb expression. The human meat soup was far more delicious than all the food she had been eating previously. But after her first mouthful, He Lu Lan started to vomit intensely. Lu Tong Lan and Zhao Huo looked at her calmly. He Lu Lan vomited until even her gastric acid came out, she asked the two, have you eaten human flesh as well? Lu Tong Lan shook her head, but Zhao Huo nodded and said, I was the first to arrive, after some time, my identity as an outsider was exposed and I got hunted down. All of my rations were consumed, I fell into desperation and had to eat people to raise the power of my totem killer move. Relying on that, I managed to survive and change my identity, eventually becoming the current Fire Blend tribe leader. Lu Tong Lan said with a calm tone, Hey Lu Lan, you can choose not to eat it. We will not force you to do this, we are only trying to complete Master's tasks to the best of our abilities. I have not eaten human flesh before, I can understand why you reject it. This is only a method to become stronger, you can also eat other ingredients to help your totem grow, it will only take more time. It will take more time. Hey Lu Lan's ears twitched. She smiled bitterly as she muttered to herself. The difference between me and him is already so large, like a heavenly chasm. If I do not make good use of my time, how can I ever surpass him? If it were him in this situation, would he choose to eat the human meat? The answer was obvious. I'll eat it. Hey Lu Lan had a solemn expression as she came to the pot. She drank the soup with huge gulps, she ate the meat in large mouthfuls. Lu Tonglan's expression changed while Zhao Huo nodded slightly. Such a person, it was no wonder their lord had such a high evaluation regarding her. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2114 Hey Lu Lan, you are too ugly. Chapter 2114 Hey Lu Lan, you are too ugly. Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven. The myriad tribes were gathered on Moonfield Slope. The myriad tribes ceremony is held here. Hey Lu Lan looked at the barren land and expressed her disappointment. Every myriad tribe ceremony was held at Moonfield Slope. But in Hey Lu Lan's opinion, this place was empty and desolate, there was yellow sand everywhere, nothing else was in sight. When wind blew, sand would stir and move in the air visibly. The myriad tribe ceremony is different from the thousand tribes ceremony, it is a grand event that involves the entire myriad beast fusion color heaven, held once every 10,000 years. This is my first time taking part in it too. Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, one of the 8 extremities, Desolate Extremity Lu Tonglan, replied. Behind them were the Blue Phoenix Tribe members. Half a year ago, there was an intense fight between Blue Phoenix Tribe and Fire Blend Tribe. The result was that Blue Phoenix Tribe lost many GU Immortal elders. But as a result, Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader gained a deeper control of the entire tribe. Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, Sacred Child. This is the Sacred Child. Ha ha ha, I've heard that Blue Phoenix Tribe produced a sacred child, this is making us envious. Entering Moonfield Slope, Lu Tonglan met a few familiar faces. These people were either famous experts, tribe leaders, or elders, they had high authority and status. Hey Lu Lan's reputation had already spread recently, her identity as a sacred child was too eye-catching. HMPH. A cold grunt could be heard as Fire Blend Tribe Leader stared at Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, Hey Lu Lan, and the rest with a furious gaze. Around him, there was also a group of tribe leaders and elders. Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, you came too slowly, are you afraid? Zhao Huo asked arrogantly. Lu Tonglan immediately retaliated with a cold laugh. Even if I am afraid, it will not be because of you. What fear can you create? Tribe leaders, the myriad tribes ceremony is about to begin. If anyone fights, they will be the enemy of the myriad tribes, we will use them as the ceremonial tribute. The elder of a large tribe saw this situation and came over. Immediately after, the elder said to Zhao Huo, Fire Blend Tribe Leader, why are you still here? My tribe leader has already held a banquet, you cannot be late. Zhao Huo snorted coldly, leaving some words for Lu Tonglan, I'll let you off for now. Saying so, he led the people around him and left. Fire Blend Tribe Leader, this guy. After he left, the tribe leaders around Lu Tonglan spoke out. Blue Phoenix Tribe Leader, even though Fire Blend Tribe Leader lost to you half a year ago and his strength fell greatly, you cannot be careless, he has already gone over to Yellow Bell Tribe. Yellow Bell Tribe is a super tribe, not just its tribe leader but even the first elder have rank 8 cultivation level. These experts spoke one after another, detailing the information of Fire Blend Tribe Leader. Hey Lu Lan listened without making a sound, gaining a deeper understanding of Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven's situation. The situation here is not too different from the 5 regions, the weaker forces still have to join larger forces. Lu Tonglan and Zhao Huo are 2 of the 8 extremities, even when they cultivate in here and use totem killer moves, they are still superior to others, being experts among rank 7s. Thus, a group of people gathered around them. But the truly top-tier forces are still existences like Yellow Bell Tribe. It seems that Zhao Huo's plan succeeded, he made use of his tribe's weakness as an excuse to get close to Yellow Bell Tribe. Who could ever imagine that these 2 irreconcilable enemies were actually the closest allies in this world? Hey Lu Lan felt deep admiration towards these 2 people and their methods. Days later, the myriad tribes ceremony began. In the name of great God reckless savage, Purple Gold tribe offers 30 golden sand carps as tribute. In the name of great God reckless savage, Ice Lake tribe offers 3 fetus lions as tribute. In the name of great God reckless savage, Yellow Bell tribe offers a vast heavenly sparrow group, 10 sight plundering vines, and 1 outsider as tribute. At the central field of all the tribes, they took turns to slaughter and contribute their sacrificial tokens. Some tribes were weak, they only contributed desolate beasts. Some tribes that were slightly inferior to Blue Phoenix tribe offered ancient desolate beasts instead. As for the strongest forces like Yellow Bell tribe, they offered a large amount of ancient desolate beasts and plants, or even several immemorial desolate beasts and plants. From time to time, outsiders would be captured and brought here to be killed in public view. These outsiders were all GU immortals with at least rank 7 cultivation level. The outsiders that Yellow Bell tribe executed were even rank 8 GU immortals. If these things were given to me as food, my totem would grow by a large amount. He Lu Lan felt it was a pity. Be it desolate beasts or GU immortal corpses, once they landed on the yellow soil, they would melt like candles, absorbed into the earth gradually. It was as if this ground was a silent beast devouring all of the sacrifices without making a sound. This moonfield slope contains a huge secret, it is definitely not so simple. He Lu Lan thought. She watched as the sacrifices sank into the yellow earth ground, the soil that was dyed red slowly returned to its yellow color. No matter what cultivation level the outsiders have, each time they were sacrificed, the myriad tribes would cheer. The cheers were loud like tsunamis or earthquakes, it was truly stunning. Myriad beast fusion color heaven had existed for so many years, rumors had definitely spread. Even immortal zombie giant sun had sent people in regularly, others went in as well. Good, kill them all. These otherworldly demons deserve death. In historical records, each time the myriad tribes ceremony is held, these otherworldly demons will appear. Let's kill all of these outsiders, how dare they invade our world? He Lu Lan listened to their discussions while feeling deep and strange emotions surging internally. The inhabitants of myriad beast fusion color heaven saw this grotto heaven as the whole world, they treated outsiders as otherworldly demons, not knowing that the outside world was even larger. This made He Lu Lan think of City Well in U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E, as well as the Miniman living inside it. The sacrificial ceremony lasted for a day. Other than the super tribes who were allowed to openly hold their ceremony at the central field, the other tribes could only do their sacrificial ceremonies at their own camps. On the night of the ceremony, there was a large bonfire celebration. Leather drums made stunning noises as tens of thousands of bonfires were lit. Countless people who wore beast skin clothing and feathered accessories danced around their bonfires as they laughed, danced, sang, and enjoyed themselves thoroughly. Many men and women were attracted to each other, they held each other's hands and left the bonfire, returning to their own tents, away from the laughter and noise outside, to engage in the most intense and enjoyable ritual on their beds. Of course, some approached He Lu Lan too. This is the myriad tribe's ceremony, the most sacred moment of all. Lady Sacred Child, we are a match made in heaven, we will produce the most outstanding offspring. The son of a tribe leader brought a large amount of immortal materials and approached He Lu Lan. This young man belonged to a super tribe, on the same level as Yellow Bell tribe. His father was the tribe leader, a rank 8 GU immortal, while he himself was rank 6. He Lu Lan had an ugly expression, she rejected him on the spot. The young man laughed instead. Great, I didn't want to get close to you anyway, you are too ugly. But father gave me orders I could not defy, I had to come here. Hopefully, we never meet again. Other than the young man, an elderly rank 8 expert also came to her. He brought a large amount of extremely valuable immortal materials. With these immortal materials, Sacred Child, your totem will reach greater success. The elderly rank 8 GU immortal spoke. Even though you are ugly, I am old and still do not have a son, we can cooperate and achieve a win-win status. He Lu Lan had a cold expression and rejected him as well. The old rank 8 GU immortal shook his head and sighed before leaving. Sacred Child, you are still too young, after missing this opportunity, it might never come to you again. Not everyone can accept your ugly appearance, only people like me who have already gone past that stage can ignore the opinions of everyone else. He Lu Lan almost screamed at him to scram. Even though she did not care about her appearance, she was still a great beauty at heart. Her parents were both extremely good-looking, she inherited their good genes and was beautiful enough to be a fairy of northern plains. But within myriad beast fusion color heaven, the concept of beauty differed greatly from the outside world. The inhabitants here worshipped muscles. Skin color should not be pale or smooth, they had to be dark and rough, giving people a sense of strength and power. Thus, in this place, Heilu Lan was an ugly woman rarely seen in 100 years. The first time anyone sees Heilu Lan, they would subconsciously think, it was no wonder Blue Phoenix tribe leader abandoned this daughter in the past, she is simply too ugly. But possessing the sacred physique despite the ugliness, heaven is truly balanced and impartial. On this night, Heilu Lan was pestered repeatedly until daybreak. The myriad tribes competition started. At the area in front of every tribe, there was a blank space. It was the field for their competition. I, Blue Phoenix tribe leader, challenged Stardust tribe leader by betting a divine peacock feather. Lu Tonglan brought Heilu Lan to the area of Stardust tribe. She was challenging the tribe for Heilu Lan. It seems that Blue Phoenix tribe leader is after that white thread tendon of the 5 Emperor eel. Stardust tribe leader smiled bitterly as he walked into the empty space. In the myriad tribes ceremony, a challenge could not be rejected. Please start. Lu Tonglan instilled immortal essence, her blue phoenix totem shined in bright light, turning solid and flying towards Stardust tribe leader. Stardust tribe leader gritted his teeth, shouting as his totem flew into the sky, turning into a single-horned mountain goat. The single-horned mountain goat crashed towards the blue phoenix, creating a huge cloud of stardust. The blue phoenix dodged as it chirped, spitting out a torrent of blue flames. The blue flames were extremely hot, the single-horned mountain goat was swept by the flames and got encircled, it tried to break out several times. Each time the single-horned mountain goat tried to act, the blue phoenix would intercept and force it back. Lu Tonglan definitely has a stronger totem, but the main reason for this situation is the difference in combat attainment of the two tribe leaders. Heilu Lan watched at the side and realized. As expected of Blue Phoenix tribe leader, sigh, I admit defeat. Not long after, Stardust tribe leader said. He needed to preserve his strength, the myriad tribe ceremony had just started. If he got injured and could not fight anymore, more people would challenge him and cause him to lose more immortal materials. Lu Tonglan stopped immediately. Stardust tribe leader arranged for the white thread tendon of the 5 Emperor eel to be given to the winner. Both sides did not go overboard. Stardust tribe leader, if you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can send a letter to my Blue Phoenix tribe. If it is a trivial matter, we will definitely help you. Lu Tonglan said before leaving. Stardust tribe leader's expression soothed. Even though one could not reject challenges in the myriad tribes ceremony, they could invite others to help them out. This was also why many weaker forces chose to join or side with super forces of their own accord. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2115 Lu Lan fights a predicament. Chapter 2115 Lu Lan fights a predicament. With the full support of Desolate Extremity Lu Tonglan, Heilu Lan started to devour a large amount of immortal materials again. After digesting them, her totem finally reached greater success. Good, your Dark Capital Strength Tiger totem has formed completely. With just this move, you are a peak expert among rank 7s, even in the outside world of the 5 regions. Lu Tonglan was very happy. Now, if you are interested, you can give it a go. The myriad tribe ceremony had reached a cruel stage of the competition. Every day, a large number of tribes were defeated, their experts got injured, and they lost many resources in their inventories. There were even those who went after their enemies, they did not bet on immortal materials but a person's life instead. What made Heilu Lan feel a chill inside was that any GU immortal who died during the myriad tribes ceremony would be sacrificed on the spot, merging into the yellow soil land. Blue Phoenix tribe was still in a good state. Because of Heilu Lan's identity as a sacred child, as long as she was alive, when she reaches rank 8, the entire Blue Phoenix tribe would be elevated to the sacred tribe, they would have high authority. Thus, almost nobody provoked Blue Phoenix tribe. Even if some people felt jealousy and hatred, wanting to attack Heilu Lan before she grew stronger, they would be filled with caution, they would not attack the sacred child during this important event, it was disrespectful to great god reckless savage after all. During the day, the myriad tribes engaged in continuous combat. At night, countless tribe leaders and elders conversed in secret, forming alliances while working and scheming together. Lu Tonglan and Zhao Huo were also secretly in contact. Anyone who wanted to target Blue Phoenix tribe might likely contact Fire Blend tribe, the opposite was also true. Blue Phoenix tribe, which possessed a sacred child, attracted a lot of jealousy, even including those people who were friendly to Lu Tonglan normally. Fire Blend tribe did not have a good time either. They lost a good number of elders half a year ago. They became weaker and had to join Yellow Bell tribe as a subsidiary force. But Yellow Bell tribe had enemies too. All of the experts continued to fight and kill. But thankfully, because only totems could be used in battle, the death toll was much lower. In normal situations, other killer moves would be used in a battle of life and death. Totems were mostly trump cards. A good number of non-totem killer moves were also held as trump cards. He Lulan gained a lot of insight these few days. She saw all sorts of totems. She recognized many outstanding experts. Her totem had already reached greater success. The path ahead of her was to continue eating with the Dark Capital Strength Tiger as the foundation, to fuse with other Dao marks and gradually turn it into a totem that suited He Lulan specifically. But there was another path. She could construct a second or third totem. Experts who had many totems had a larger range of methods, but because their efforts were split, the quality of their totems were lower as well. By investing the same effort and resources, cultivating one totem was naturally stronger. As for which route to take, He Lulan was still thinking about it. In historical records, Reckless Savage Demon Venerable had countless totems, each one was extremely strong. They had at least rank 8 battle strength, some were even at pseudo-venerable battle strength. It seems that Reckless Savage Demon Venerable took the second path. As days passed, the situation of the myriad tribes changed rapidly every day. Initially, those normal tribes with only GU masters started to lose and assimilate into each other rapidly. But this situation actually extended to the super forces as well. Eventually, even a super force like Yellow Bell tribe showed signs of downfall. When 3 rank 8 GU immortals died on Moonfield Slope, this yellow soil land started to emit a faint yellow light. In this yellow light, a road slowly appeared before them. Myriad Life Road has appeared. Huff, the Myriad Tribe's challenge has finally ended. Only publicly recognized experts can enter the Myriad Life Road and find the immortal opportunities left behind by Great God Reckless Savage. He Lulan had some realization too, so all the sacrifices are meant to open up this Myriad Life Road. As the one with the sacred physique, she did not need to be tested, she was qualified to enter the Myriad Life Road immediately. After the tribes discussed among themselves, they chose 88 people. There were 11 people of each respective rank. Among the tribes, there were no rank 9 GU cultivators, thus the maximum number was only 88. For some reason, this number struck a chord with He Lulan. Under countless envious gazes, 88 people stepped onto the Myriad Life Road. From the outside, the Myriad Life Road looked like an illusory image. But when He Lulan and the rest stepped into it, they felt a completely different sensation. It feels like there is really a road, I can step on it firmly. He Lulan walked for over 10 steps, her expression changed gradually. She was accompanied by Lu Tonglan. Not far away behind her, there was Zhao Huo. These two were part of the 8 extremities after all. They had successfully emerged from the competition and became one of the 88 chosen people. Walking on this Myriad Life Road, every step expends our strength, will, and even immortal essence. He Lulan said. Lu Tonglan added. More accurately speaking, our foundation and strength are depleted at a certain rate proportionately. There was fairness for everyone walking on this road, they experienced the same difficulty. GU Immortals were stronger than GU Masters, but the difficulty level for GU Masters was decided according to their own strength. This caused many GU Masters to move ahead of the GU Immortals instead. I found a GU worm, they are crawling on the ground, once we pick them up, they can be instantly refined. Quickly look, there are so many food ingredients, this is worth a fortune. Many people shouted and cheered, they quickly gained some plentiful rewards. The myriad tribes outside could not see this scene, they could only see 88 figures that shrunk to the size of black dots as they became concealed by the heavenly road in the sky. He Lulan observed closely and soon found something strange. The heavenly road is uneven, the slope is upwards at times and downwards at times. When going up, there will be GU worms and GU materials, when going down, even though there are no rewards, we will expend less of our strength. He Lulan analyzed, suddenly gasping in shock. Strange, this feels like something depicted in U003C U003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003E U003E. She quickly looked at Lu Tonglan as the latter smiled. You are right, this is upslope road and downslope road. He Lulan could not help but shake internally. Her eyes shined with bright light. This means to say, I can obtain the legendary ability GU and effort GU here. Lu Tonglan replied. That will depend on your fortune. If these GU worm really exist here, I am sure they will be near the end of the heavenly road. He Lu Lan gritted her teeth as she made up her mind. This is a fortuitous encounter that I cannot let go of. In history, GU worms that are mentioned in U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E are all top-tier GU worms. They either have terrifying strength or incredible abilities. Ancestor Giant Sun was right. I need to make the best of this supreme opportunity to have a chance of surpassing that guy, Fang Yuan. He Lu Lan started to move ahead. Lu Tonglan instructed her. Don't take the downslope road, try to walk on the upslope road. This is the guidance of our Lord. He Lu Lan was a little bewildered. Normally speaking, the downslope road had a small expenditure on the person, it was most logical to walk on it. Only until the second half of the heavenly road should one start walking on the upslope road. But Immortal Zombie Giant Sun's advice was the opposite. He Lu Lan hesitated for a moment but decided to trust Immortal Zombie Giant Sun. She and Lu Tonglan walked together, trying to go on the upslope road as much as they could. They found a lot of GU worms and materials while walking on the upslope road, yet most were just mortal GU and materials. Not long after, they started to find immortal materials. As for the GU immortals who traveled the same distance as them, because they walked on the downslope road quite often, their rewards were fewer and also kept within the range of mortal materials. He Lu Lan realized at once, the heavenly road does not calculate distance traveled but the quality of the road traveled instead. It does not split into the first or second half, it only sees if we are giving it our full effort when we walk on the road. By putting in my full effort, I have a chance of making desirable gains. But if I slack off and take the easy path, I might consume all my strength without gaining anything significant. Lu Tonglan and He Lu Lan continued ahead. When they found the first rank 6 immortal GU, the first predicament also appeared. Predicaments had all sorts of shapes and sizes, they were translucent and had various colors. The predicament in He Lu Lan's path was light brown in color, it resembled a raccoon with the size of a mountain, blocking the heavenly road. Predicament, a wild beast recorded in U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E. It is extinct within the 5 regions, to think that it still exists here. But since this is the heavenly road, there is nothing strange about it. He Lu Lan took in a deep breath, working with Lu Tonglan to attack the predicament. The predicament roared as it charged towards He Lu Lan and Lu Tonglan. The two of them felt their vision blurring and changing, they arrived in a light brown secluded space. We are inside the predicament, we were eaten by it, Lu Tonglan immediately said. Predicaments were very special entities, rumor had it that the first person who created a battlefield killer move took inspiration from researching the predicaments. Each predicament could also be treated as a natural battlefield killer move. Within the predicament, calamities and tribulations formed and descended. Lu Tonglan took the lead. I will block the calamities and tribulations, He Lu Lan, you will break out of the predicament. He Lu Lan was stunned. What should I do? You have the great strength true martial physique, according to the records of U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E, you are a counter to these predicaments. I do not know what you need to do, but just go ahead and try. Remember, you cannot spend too much time, the tribulations within the predicament are unceasing. Lu Tonglan instructed. He Lu Lan gritted her teeth, activating her strength path killer moves and attacking the place randomly. A moment later, joy flashed on her face as she felt a movement in the space. The tribulations became fiercer, but Lu Tonglan was very happy. Continue with that, this predicament is already staking its life to fight. He Lu Lan suddenly thought. She had the great strength true martial physique, but others did not. What could they do if they faced a predicament? Dark capital strength tiger, come out. He Lu Lan willed as she expended a large amount of rank 7 immortal essence. Roar! With a surging black light, the huge black tiger condensed into solid form and charged ahead. With a loud sound, a huge hole was formed. Let's go! He Lu Lan and Lu Tonglan flew out of the hole together, returning to the outside world. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2116 Fortitude GU. 2116 Fortitude GU. The predicament growled, clenching its body at the area of the injury. The dark capital strength tiger totem created a huge hole and caused it to weaken greatly. Its body continued to shrink like a burst balloon, until it was only half of its original size, before the hole closed up and mended itself. After stabilizing its condition, the predicament did not dare to attack He Lu Lan anymore, it screeched and ran away. He Lu Lan did not chase it, she picked up the rank 6 Immortal GU and continued on the road with Lu Tonglan. The two walked on the upslope road with all their effort, gaining greater and greater rewards. A while later, they obtained 2 rank 6 Immortal GU and 1 rank 7 Immortal GU. Their encounters soon alerted the others. They started to use their full strength to walk on the upslope road. Gradually, some expended all their strength and fell from the heavenly road, crashing onto the yellow land of the moonfield slope. Some encountered the predicaments but did not manage to break out, dying inside. There were some who defeated their predicaments but lost too much strength. They had gloomy expressions. Predicaments were a mystical type of wild beasts in essence. One's battle strength had to be greatly exceeding their endurance limit for them to lose. Only strength path methods had greater effect. He Lulan felt more difficulty as she walked. After defeating 2 more predicaments, she found that from a total of 88 people, only 30 or so were left. I am starting to lose my ability to continue. A lot of my strength has been depleted, while the predicaments that show up are getting stronger. My remaining battle strength is only enough for 1 more predicament. He Lulan gritted her teeth, feeling unresigned. Don't worry, I have a way, let's continue. Lu Tonglan patted He Lulan's shoulder with an optimistic attitude. After encountering another predicament, Lu Tonglan used her blue phoenix totem and worked with the dark capital strength tiger to defeat the predicament. Be careful, don't let it escape. This time, Lu Tonglan shouted and acted in time, not allowing the predicament to escape as they killed it successfully. Eat it. Lu Tonglan cut the predicament's flesh and gave He Lulan a piece. He Lulan had read U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003 EU003E before. She understood something. Each piece of the predicament's meat that she ate, she felt her strength returned by a portion. After she and Lu Tonglan devoured the entire predicament, her strength had mostly recovered. But this way, the method was exposed. Many GU cultivators saw this and started to mimic them. But a portion of the GU cultivators were not surprised. They knew about this long ago. You cannot overeat the predicament's flesh, otherwise, your heart will burn and your mind will collapse. Lu Tonglan sighed. Let's continue. After several more minutes, Zhao Huo chased up to He Lulan and Lu Tonglan. What do you want? Lu Tonglan pretended to be unhappy as she called out. Zhao Huo snorted coldly. Only 7 of us are left. We want to cooperate, of course. We can settle the score outside, but here, we need to look at the big picture. Lu Tonglan was silent. Tribe leader Zhao Huo is right, the predicaments are getting stronger, we need to work together. Yellow Bell tribe leader also arrived. He looked at He Lulan and said, Sacred child, you are qualified to cooperate with us and fight together. Next, Yellow Bell tribe leader looked at the others. Since everyone could reach this far, we are all qualified to work together. What do you think? Among the 7 that were left, 1 was rank 6, 2 were rank 8, while the last 4 were rank 7. Everyone looked at each other, turning silent for a moment. Working together will allow us to get further indeed. But how do we distribute Immortal GU and Immortal materials? The rank 6 GU Immortal asked the crucial question. If they had to compete, he would definitely lose against them. Yellow Bell tribe leader pondered and spoke. There is no need to fight over Immortal GU and Immortal materials, we can take them in turns. As for the sequence, we can discuss it. If anyone ignores the rules, they will be everyone's enemy. The myriad life road only appears once every 10,000 years, whoever disobeys the rules will face the pursuit of everyone. Okay, the other rank 8 GU Immortal agreed. But regarding the sequence, everyone argued for a long time. The one who was placed first naturally would get the lowest value of resources. The one who got the later rewards would gain greater value. But who had the confidence to last until the end? Right now, everyone was near their limit, otherwise, they would not have cooperated. If their position was later and got eliminated before they could gain the rewards, it would be a huge loss. Everyone thought about it for a while before deciding the sequence and continuing on. After defeating 2 predicaments, the first rank 8 Immortal GU appeared. According to the sequence, it belonged to that rank 6 GU Immortal. Under everyone's gaze, the rank 6 GU Immortal collected the Immortal GU with trepidation. The 2 rank 8 GU Immortals did not snatch it. Their turn was later. This rank 6 GU Immortal also had a decent status. His father was a famous rank 8 expert. With the appearance of a rank 8 Immortal GU, the group of 7 became quite tense. Moving along another segment of the upslope road, there were no predicaments blocking their way, but the group found a dragonhorn grass. Dragonhorn grass was an immemorial desolate plant. It was shaped like a coral, similar to a dragon horn. every segment was the length of a finger, it would grow by 1 segment every month. According to the sequence, it was Zhao Huo's turn now. Zhao Huo collected the dragon horn grass while feeling helpless internally. He wanted an immortal GU, longevity heaven did not lack such immortal material resources. Everyone, I can't continue. I'm really sorry, please understand, I am not trying to leave after getting my reward. After walking for some time, the rank 6 GU immortal said with a pale expression and shaking body. Yellow Bell tribe leader nodded. Go back, at this rate, you will die of exhaustion. The rank 6 GU immortal bowed deeply and fell towards the ground. While in the air, he fell unconscious. Luckily, there were people waiting for him at the ground. After the rank 6 GU immortal left, the trend started as people also reached their limits. First was the other rank 8 GU immortal, followed by Lu Tonglan. That rank 8 GU immortal had not reached his turn yet before getting eliminated. He had an ugly expression when he left. Lu Tonglan was also at her limit. She instructed He Lulan to be careful before leaving. Only 4 were left. They were He Lulan, Zhao Huo, Yellow Bell tribe leader, and a young rank 7 GU immortal. What GU is this? Everyone's eyes lit up. Everyone saw an extraordinary rank 8 immortal GU. It looked like an ant with the size of an adult's fist. It emitted a rainbow-colored light. This is quantity change GU. Yellow Bell tribe leader laughed heartily. It was his turn now. With this immortal GU, he could make the target go from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, increasingly greatly in quantity. Of course, the immortal essence expenditure was also raised accordingly. Some targets could not be multiplied, for example, any immortal GU. Of course, this immortal GU could be used in combat as well. For example, if the enemy shot out a torrent of flames, quantity change GU could reduce the number of flames and weaken the enemy's offenses rapidly. However, they had to defeat this predicament in order to get the immortal GU. After an intense battle, everyone won and shared the meat together. Yellow Bell tribe leader was the happiest. Not only did he get a top-tier immortal GU, his strength also recovered to an extent. Everyone continued on their way. A predicament blocked them again, but there was nothing on the ground. One could not turn back on the heavenly road. They were forced to engage in a tough battle, killing the predicament and eating its flesh. Everyone recovered some more strength. Walking on the upslope road, a rank 8 immortal GU appeared. It was a rhinoceros beetle that resembled an ingot of steel. It was thickly armored and stoutly built. This is actually Fortitude GU. Fortitude GU, did I see wrongly? It really is Fortitude GU. This is an immortal GU recorded in U003CU003C. The Legends of Ren Zu003E U003E. Everyone was shocked as they looked towards the rank 7 GU immortal. According to the sequence, it was his turn. This GU immortal was really the greatest dark horse in this myriad tribe ceremony. His entire body was shaking from excitement now. After an intense battle, the predicament shouted pitifully and fell on the ground. Everyone split the meat while the rank 7 GU immortal took Fortitude GU. This trip was worth it, it was worth it. The rank 7 GU immortal muttered to himself, feeling excited. Yellow Bell tribe leader spoke to recruit him. I'll consider it. The rank 7 GU immortal rejected immediately. Yellow Bell tribe leader frowned before relaxing his expression immediately. This person will not have a good time in the future. He Lulan saw this but did not expose it. The rank 7 GU immortal's pride had swelled up. He was disregarding Yellow Bell tribe leader, thinking he had immense value himself. But it was not strange. He Lulan knew that it was obvious. In the future, many people would go ahead and attempt to recruit this rank 7 GU immortal. Maybe this rank 7 GU immortal might get sick of hearing such words. Everyone set off again. Predicaments blocked the way, but there were no immortal GU or immortal materials. One could not backtrack on the heavenly road. They had to kill this predicament. But Zhao Huo rejected the predicament's flesh. I can't eat it anymore. I am at my limit. If I eat any more, my heart will burn and I will die. Zhao Huo sighed, looking at He Lulan deeply before leaving. Only He Lulan, Yellow Bell tribe leader, and the rank 7 GU immortal were left. He Lulan had chosen her reward earlier. Now that Zhao Huo was out, according to the sequence, it was Yellow Bell tribe leader's turn again. But after several segments of road, they had no gains. They even met 2 predicaments. After an intense battle, even though they gained some flesh, the recovery could not match the expenditure. Their strength fell sharply. Don't be anxious or dejected. I've seen the pattern already. The further we go, the more the predicaments and the fewer the immortal GU and immortal materials, but any rewards that show up are all top tier. Yellow Bell tribe leader tried to raise the morale. he was the next beneficiary, he did not want his efforts to be wasted here. Like what he said, they finally saw another rank 8 Immortal GU in the end. This Immortal GU was shaped like a spider, but it was a long body and many compound eyes, shining in blue and red crystal lights. It seemed like a fusion of ruby and sapphire. Ability GU. Another famous Immortal GU from U003CU003C. The Legends of Ren Zhu003E. He Lu Lan was tongue-tied. This Immortal GU is incredible, it is even better than my Fortitude GU. The rank 7 GU Immortal also gasped. Kill this predicament, I'll stake my life to kill this predicament. Yellow Bell tribe leader's eyes were red, he spoke while breathing roughly. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2117 Ability GU. 2117 Ability GU. The three of them charged towards the predicament. This was truly a battle of life and death. The three had insufficient strength left, while this predicament was strong beyond their expectations. Calamities and tribulations befell endlessly. The three immortals did their best and used their trump cards. They squeezed out every ounce of potential in them. He Lu Lan's dark capital strength tiger totem was crippled. Yellow Bell tribe leader's golden bell totem was greatly damaged. The cost of repairing it would be huge. As for the rank 7 GU immortal, he had rain eagle totem and thunderfish totem. They both lost their ability to fight, but thankfully, this rank 7 GU immortal had a method to fuse the two damaged totems into the thunder rain fish eagle totem. They avoided death narrowly. After 15 minutes of stalemate, the three immortals risked their lives and finally killed the predicament. Yellow Bell tribe leader was lying on the ground. He did not even have the strength to laugh, he could only cough. Ability GU is mine. You two are very skilled. Regardless of whether you join my Yellow Bell tribe, I will owe you both a favor. What are you doing? Suddenly, Yellow Bell tribe leader stared with wide eyes as he shouted in anger. Because he saw that the rank 7 GU immortal had secretly moved away and took the ability GU on the ground. What else? I am snatching the GU. The rank 7 GU immortal placed ability GU into his immortal aperture right in front of Yellow Bell tribe leader. Cough. Yellow Bell tribe leader coughed out a mouthful of blood and fell unconscious, falling from the heavenly road. He Lu Lan gritted her teeth in anger. I was just a step away, damn it. She wanted to snatch ability GU too, but it was a pity that her location after leaving the predicament's body was bad. She was the furthest person from the immortal GU. Thus, that rank 7 GU immortal succeeded. The rank 7 GU immortal smiled at He Lu Lan before falling from the sky. I do not have the strength to continue. He Lu Lan sighed deeply. Even though she had great gains in this trip, she did not obtain any top-tier immortal GU. Right when she was about to leave the place, she suddenly froze as her palm seemed to have touched something. It feels like an invisible GU worm. He Lu Lan looked at it with deep focus. Because she had touched the immortal GU, she could sense this GU worm's strength path aura. An invisible rank 8 immortal GU. What can it be? Don't tell me. He Lu Lan was extremely happy. She grabbed the mysterious immortal GU and left the heavenly road. U003CU003C. The Legends of Ren Zhu003EU003E, Chapter 5, Section 34. Legend says that Ren Zhu encountered the greatest predicament in his life. He ended up creating his seventh child, Great Strength True Martial, and was saved as a result. Ren Zhu and Great Strength True Martial started to travel together. Great Strength True Martial asked, Father, where are we going now? Ren Zhu replied, My son, you still do not know the situation, I will explain it to you. I originally wanted to save your brothers and sisters, but Fate GU arranged everything, not allowing us to have a reunion. Right now, we need to break free from Fate's control in order to be with our family again. After hearing the story, Great Strength True Martial could not help but shout in anger, this Fate GU is too wicked. At the same time, Strong GU also shouted in his heart, experts hate restraints, especially Fate. Ren Zhu patted Great Strength True Martial's head and consoled, Don't worry, I have already thought of a way. I will use Self GU to gain strength and wisdom, after, I will obtain Freedom GU and break free from Fate GU's control. Now, let us go to a place called Qian Kun Crystal Wall, we will search for Wisdom GU there. Great Strength True Martial nodded, let us go there then. Ren Zhu and Great Strength True Martial walked and walked, the road was uneven, there were many upslope and downslope roads. Strong GU encouraged Great Strength True Martial, Oh human, walk on the upslope road, even though it is a harder journey, there are often good things there. Great Strength True Martial nodded, experts like to walk on the upslope road. Great strength true martial took great effort to walk up the upslope road. He looked around and called out, "There's nothing here at all." "No, it is right by your feet, pick it up now." Strong Gu instructed. Great strength true martial squatted down, searching the ground with his hands. As expected, he found something hard. It was an invisible Gu. "I found something good." Great strength true martial laughed. "So it is effort Gu." Renzu found it strange. "My son, how did you find out its name? We can't see what it looks like." Great strength true martial scratched his head. "The moment I obtained it, I saw effort Gu's appearance. As for why I know this is effort Gu, well, every expert should know what effort is. This is natural, there is nothing strange about it. After all, you cannot see the effort of other people." The pair of father and son set off again. "This is great, now that I have effort Gu, it will help me greatly." Great strength true martial walked as he looked at effort Gu, feeling very happy. He continued to choose the upslope road. Renzu asked curiously, "Is effort Gu really that amazing? Can it allow you to achieve success?" Great strength true martial shook his head. "Effort might not necessarily lead to success, but effort will give you a result. Regardless of the result, whether you put in effort or not will show a difference." Renzu was very worried. "Oh son, you have just been born, don't be deceived by the Gu. I had once been deceived by wisdom Gu. I see that you are covered in sweat and pant heavily each time you walk on the upslope road. I do not see effort Gu helping you at all. I've heard of such rumors too, effort Gu can sometimes lie to you." Great strength true martial shook his head as he wiped the sweat off his forehead. "Father, because you cannot see the effort I put in, you misunderstood things. You cannot understand the amount of effort I put in to walk this upslope road. Actually, the result of my effort is below my feet. Every step, I move higher and further. There are many good things on the upslope road, humans cannot obtain them without effort." "Is that really the case?" Renzu was half convinced and suspicious. Renzu and Great Strength True Martial continued on their journey. Great Strength True Martial kept walking on the upslope road. He continued to move up higher. He obtained authority Gu and fortitude Gu. In the later part of the road, he found humility Gu and forgiveness Gu as well. These two Gu worms took the initiative to follow Great Strength True Martial. Great Strength True Martial asked for the reason while they replied matter-of-factly, "Because humility forgiveness is the authority of an expert to begin with." Because Great Strength True Martial walked on the upslope road, an ability Gu suddenly appeared within him. Great Strength True Martial held ability Gu as he said to Renzu, "Look father, this is the result of effort Gu. It awakened my potential, I have my own ability now." Renzu asked, "Then what is the use of this ability Gu?" Great Strength True Martial shook his head, "I am not sure. People will only know their abilities and their strength after they use them. But it is definitely useful, it can last my entire lifetime." Renzu shook his head, he still felt that his son was deceived by the Gu. Renzu and Great Strength True Martial continued walking, the situation on the road was getting worse. Downslope road was easier to walk on, but it was getting rarer, there were more and more segments of upslope road. Not only so, more and more predicaments appeared on the road. Isn't there an easier road to walk on? Renzu was helpless. Cognition Gu flew towards Renzu. "Oh human, there is no other way. The more valuable thing you try to pursue, the more segments of the upslope road you need to walk on, and the more predicaments you need to overcome." Renzu and Great Strength True Martial had to continue on their way. Indeed, as Cognition Gu had said, they encountered more and more predicaments, their road was completely blocked. Renzu said, "Don't be afraid of the predicaments, we still have our hope. But hope alone cannot defeat the predicament, at this time, you will need me." Great Strength True Martial's ability Gu spoke. Great Strength True Martial used his ability, defeating many predicaments. Renzu sighed at long last, "My son, your ability Gu is too amazing, it can actually do this. It seems I have underestimated your effort and ability." Great Strength True Martial smiled. "Often, we humans do not lack abilities, we lack the opportunities to display them." Strong Gu shouted in his heart with great ambition, "Kill them all, let's eat them all. That way, we can become even stronger." Great Strength True Martial killed many predicaments, he started to eat the predicaments, head. "So this is a bitter head. It is really bitter, but I can feel myself getting stronger." He started to eat the predicament's loss. Great Strength True Martial immediately spat it out. Experts do not like to swallow losses. He also ate the predicament's flesh. Strong Ji-yu got bigger, great strength true martial also became more muscular than before. Strong Ji-yu was very satisfied about this change. In this world, only by becoming stronger can one avoid getting bullied. Great strength true martial gave some of the meat to Renzu. "Oh father, eat something, you are too skinny." Renzu was so thin he looked like a rack of bones. Eventually, great strength true martial tossed ability Ji-yu into the tribulation. Ability Ji-yu went through great hurdles and difficulties, but it got larger and stronger as well. All sorts of tribulations and difficulties were prime opportunities to train one's ability, to develop one's ability, and to increase one's ability. Several days later, in Eastern Sea, Fang Yuan looked at the two rank 8 Immortal Ji-yu in his hands. They were Fortitude Ji-yu and Ability Ji-yu. This time, my clone Zhan Bu did a great job. This is a great gain for us. Fang Yuan was very happy internally. It turned out that after the Fate War, Fang Yuan sent Zhan Bu into Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven immediately. Fang Yuan knew about Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven long ago. There was information about it in the 500 years of his previous life. Ma Hongyun had once entered and walked on the heavenly road, obtaining Fortitude Ji-yu in the end. Even though Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven was secluded, there were ways to sneak in. Otherwise, there would not be so many outsiders sacrificed during the Myriad Tribe's ceremony. Before annexing Langya sect, Fang Yuan knew about Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven but did not have ways to enter. But Langya sect could. Langya Land Spirit had once tried to recruit Chudu. He even asked Fang Yuan to help in this matter. It was because Langya Land Spirit had this method. He wanted to send Chudu inside to explore and gain benefits. The most popular paths in Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven were Food Path, Strength Path, and Transformation Path, among which, Pure Strength Path cultivators were the most successful. After annexing Langya sect, Fang Yuan gained control of this method. He used it to send Zhan Bu inside. And his gains were much larger than expected. Fortitude Ji-yu is useful to me. Ability Ji-yu also has great prospects in the future. As for He Lu Lan, she went to Longevity Heaven and is receiving a lot of attention and help, it seems. It is a pity that Zhan Bu did not have the strength to kill her at that point in time. Fang Yuan did not feel much pity about this. He Lu Lan was not important. The key was Crazed Demon Cave and the impending conflict between Venerables. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2118 Wisdom Path Great Grand Master. 2118 Wisdom Path Great Grand Master. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, Meng Chu Zhen was exploring another dream realm. Deep in the mountains, Meng Chu Zhen sat cross-legged on a cliff with a torrential waterfall below him. Immortal, Immortal. A young man was covered in injuries. He crawled towards Fang Yuan and begged him to take him in as a disciple. You want me to be your master? Meng Chu Zhen smiled while feeling surprised internally. He tried to decipher the rules of this dream realm. In the past, Fang Yuan would need to test it himself, but now, Meng Chu Zhen had the Dream Path Immortal Ji-yu, Dream Butterfly. He activated Dream Butterfly Immortal Ji-yu secretly to investigate while stalling for time as he spoke. You are a mere mortal, but since you are able to find me after so many hurdles, this means we are fated. I have 3 cultivation paths. I will impart you one of them. The young man was overjoyed. He kowtowed continuously on the hard ground. A dull sound was heard each time. Meng Chu Zhen said, the first path is Formation Path. It emphasizes on. Meng Chu Zhen continued to explain. He said the truth without any lies in his words. The young man nodded in hesitation. Lord Immortal, even though Formation Path is very complex, I am willing to work hard. Meng Chu Zhen shook his head, saying, no hurry, my second path is Strength Path. It is powerful and direct. The advantage lies in. After Meng Chu Zhen finished his words, the young man became very excited. I want to learn Strength Path. Meng Chu Zhen smiled again. I have a third path, Wisdom Path. Strength Path is very common but Wisdom Path is rare. It can benefit you immensely. Among which? After a lengthy description, the young man was overwhelmed with excitement. Lord Immortal, Lord Immortal. I am most willing to learn Wisdom Path. Please teach me. At this time, Dream Butterfly Immortal Ji-yu finished investigating the Dream Realm. The Dream Realm was not small. It had 8 scenes. It turned out that the Immortal had once unknowingly destroyed Immortal Village, causing the death of the young man's parents. The young man became all alone. He suffered greatly in the mortal world, not knowing who his enemy was. After much effort, he finally became the disciple of this Immortal. He had great aptitude and had the 10 extreme physique, he was very suited for wisdom path cultivation. When the young man found out that his enemy was his master, he started to exact revenge. In the final scene, the master and disciple turned on each other. This was a difficult dream. No matter what I impart, this disciple will learn it completely and even innovate to surpass the master. Furthermore, he will cultivate wisdom path secondarily and have incredible wisdom path methods. Thus, this first scene is the most important chance to weaken this disciple. Meng Chu Zhen realized internally. Without Dream Butterfly Immortal GU, he had to test it himself. He definitely could not pass with his first try, his soul would get injured. Meng Chu Zhen would need to recuperate, wasting time and resources. After that, he would need to restart and explore the dream realm again. But with Dream Butterfly Immortal GU, he had the initiative, he was not in such a passive spot. Even though Dream Butterfly Immortal GU could only investigate the situation, the value of information was simply priceless. Looking at the young man, Meng Chu Zhen thought about it and smiled. Then I will impart you my wisdom path cultivation. This method was not created by me, but I modified it personally. I named it 9-9 multiplication table. 9-9 multiplication table. The young man's eyes shined. Just from the name, he felt that it was grand and impressive, it had an immortal flair. Meng Chu Zhen continued to spout nonsense. 9 is the perfect number, 9 times 9 represents the concept of countless and boundless, the multiplication method is the rule of all beings, the extreme profundity of the natural order, those who lack aptitude cannot comprehend it. Come, let me teach you the first killer move, 1 times 1 is 1. The young man held his breath, he listened attentively and muttered to himself, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1. Not long after, at the final scene. Master, this is my final. Shut up, don't call me master, you traitorous disciple, I am not your master. No, even so, I will call you my. Shut up, I worked so hard to nurture you, I imparted my strongest method, the 9-9 multiplication table to you, but yet you repaid my kindness with enmity. No, master, no matter how angry you are, it is a fact you killed my parents, there is no resolving that grudge. For the last time, I will call you my. Meng Chu Zhen did not care, he directly used his killer move on his disciple. The disciple was constantly interrupted, he could not call him, master, for the last time. Meng Chu Zhen wanted to see this. Because he understood this disciple, who had created his own raging emotion killer move, it was incredible, it could use wisdom path to allow all sorts of emotions to surge in power. If he managed to say it, he would feel a sense of freedom, he would be able to use the killer move freely. Once he activated the killer move raging emotion, he would gain a huge advantage in this dream realm. Meng Chu Zhen would face great difficulty in trying to pass it. The battle progressed like how Meng Chu Zhen predicted, he kept attacking and did not give his disciple a chance to talk. His disciple was constantly suppressed, without a choice, he had to give up on his strongest raging emotion killer move and use the 9-9 multiplication table method instead. Immortal killer move, 8 times 8 is 88. After a long time of fighting, his disciple finally used his killer move. Cough. He had just activated the killer move when it failed immediately, he suffered a backlash and became gravely injured. This killer move is wrong. Master, don't tell me you. The disciple looked at Meng Chu Zhen in disbelief. Oh my foolish little disciple, I'll tell you the real name of this killer move, 8 times 8 is 66. Meng Chu Zhen snickered coldly as he attacked viciously. 1. The disciple lasted only a few rounds before his head was taken, he died with grievance. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan's main body was comprehending killer moves now. Using GU worms alone often had all sorts of demerits or side effects. To fix this or to reduce the side effects, GU cultivators started to use multiple GU worms together in cooperation. Killer moves were naturally developed on this basis. Killer moves involved the use of multiple GU worms. Among the 3 aspects of nurture, use, and refinement, they came under use. When cultivators developed killer moves, they were surprised to find that natural killer moves existed in nature all along. From the bodies of desolate beasts or desolate plants, these cultivators found that they had many innate abilities. These abilities were all profound and mystical, like the upper extreme heavenly eagle's ability to enter and exit blessed lands and grotto heavens. The upper extreme heavenly eagle had dense space path Dao marks on its body. These Dao marks were distributed in a certain pattern, following the rules of space path to grant it the innate ability to enter and leave blessed lands and grotto heavens. Thus, the essence of killer moves was Dao marks. In this aspect, totem killer moves are the closest to the original form of killer moves. Fang Yuan praised internally. Totem killer moves were developed in myriad beast fusion color heaven, they did not exist elsewhere. Totem killer moves had very high status, they could complement ordinary killer moves and battlefield killer moves, being on the same level as them. With regard to using GU, other than using single GU worms, there were ordinary killer moves, battlefield killer moves, ancient battle formations, current generation GU formations, as well as mortal and immortal GU houses. But now, on this foundation, there was a new type, totem killer moves. Compared to other ways of using GU, totem killer moves had a clear advantage. The most obvious one was that activating them was easy and quick, even a fool could control them. Totem killer moves needed very few thoughts, they were reliant on primeval essence or immortal essence instead. Unlike ordinary killer moves which needed to activate every single GU worm, the processes were very different. Secondly, totem killer moves were easy to assemble, the maintenance cost was also low. The GU worms of ordinary killer moves needed constant feeding. The cultivator would also need a lot of time to find appropriate GU worms. As for totem killer moves, they only needed the corresponding food ingredients. GU materials were much easier to find than GU worms. The cost of feeding GU worms was very high, but once totem killer moves were created, they would exist on the user's body, not requiring further food. Of course, if they were damaged, they would need to be repaired. By then, the cultivator would need to eat the respective food ingredients. Thirdly, totem killer moves were very easy to publicize, many people could use them at the same time. Also, totem killer moves were suited for all paths. Of course, there were disadvantages as well. For example, the cost of creating a totem was not low. Also, with the creation of a totem, it would greatly affect the GU cultivator's future cultivation, after all, it contained Dao marks. And finally, totems were powerful but they had fixed methods, they were easy to counter. This was quite similar to GU houses. Fang Yuan thought about it, he felt that the totem killer moves had some similarity to beast strength phantoms. These demon venerables and immortal venerables have unimaginable talent. Even though reckless savage demon venerable's personality was quite unexpected, his scheming abilities are top-notch. Originally, reckless savage demon venerable's grotto heaven only had strength path and transformation path Dao marks. But from what Fang Yuan learned from old eccentric Tian Nan's true inheritance, he used the beastman's method against them, fusing his own immortal aperture into the gluttonous demon frog's body. This was simply akin to the action of a deity, it could not be described in plain words. The gluttonous demon frog was a food path legendary immemorial beast, with it encompassing the immortal aperture, and along with reckless savage demon venerable's method, myriad beast fusion color heaven started to develop a food path environment. This food path environment was crucial. It was because of the food path Dao marks that myriad beast fusion color heaven's cultivators could use refinement path methods to cook while having low food path attainment, creating the food that could allow them to cultivate totem killer moves. In the outside world, without the help of a food path environment, GU cultivators could not create such food so easily. This is actually food path cultivation. Fang Yuan thought about Southern Border's Paradise Earth True Inheritance. In this True Inheritance, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable developed food path, allowing tea recipes to become food path recipes. Using GU materials to create tea, the cultivator could drink it to gain Dao marks. The essence of the totem killer moves in myriad beast fusion color heaven was the same. GU cultivators could absorb the Dao marks of GU materials into their own bodies and create totem killer moves gradually. Totem killer moves were very suitable for their own cultivator, because during the process, their bodies would choose to absorb whatever it could absorb as nutrients. Fang Yuan's expression changed slightly, his thoughts were interrupted for a moment. My wisdom path reached great grandmaster attainment level. He could feel this change immediately, but his expression remained tranquil and peaceful. This is the author's idea of a joke, possibly regarding readers talking about his mathematics skills. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2119 Li Xiaobai, S Immortal Ascension. 2119 Li Xiaobai, S Immortal Ascension. Soon, Fang Yuan placed the matter of his wisdom path attainment level aside as he continued his comprehension. Be they reckless savage demon venerable or paradise earth immortal venerable, they have a deep understanding of food path. In this aspect, reckless savage demon venerable is inferior to paradise earth immortal venerable, he only made use of the gluttonous demon frog. But the way he used the food path environment to create the totem killer move archetype is truly too amazing. Even Fang Yuan could not stint on the praise towards such a move. If one truly cultivated totem killer moves purely, they would need to undergo continuous deductions. But in Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven, GU cultivators only had to devour food ingredients and use the food path environment to naturally select the most suitable nutrition by their bodies themselves. Those Dao marks would develop into all sorts of totems on their own. This was like using food path to make up for any deficiency in wisdom path, allowing countless totem killer moves to be born. As for the GU materials that the GU cultivators devoured, where did those come from? They were naturally produced by Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven itself. Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven had bountiful transformation path Dao marks. There were many mutated beasts and plants here. They had mutated and developed forms that far surpassed the 5 regions in diversity. The wild beasts or plants living in Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven were all unique existences in the Grotto Heaven. They could not be found elsewhere. When GU cultivators devour the mutated GU materials, their totems would also continue to change and elevate. From this perspective, the GU cultivator was making use of Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven's natural development to allow the totem killer moves to develop as well. Eventually, they would produce stunning results. Just what Zon Bu heard when he lurked in there was that there were over 9,000 basic totems in Myriad Beast Fusion Color Heaven. Dark Capital Strength Tiger, Rain Eagle Totem, Thunderfish Totem, and Golden Bell Totem were just part of them. Not to mention that aside from these basic totems, there were also unique totems that belonged to certain individuals. These totem killer moves are not very helpful to me, but there is high reference value in all the recipes that exist here. Fang Yuan originally had a food path true inheritance. It came from Shadow Sect and was the original food path inheritance in the world. Not long ago, Fang Yuan also obtained Southern Borders Paradise Earth True Inheritance, obtaining all sorts of food path killer moves. There were tea recipes that could increase the number of Dao marks on a GU cultivator's body. And now, Fang Yuan obtained all sorts of recipes to create totem killer moves. Combining all of his accumulations, food path had developed to a certain degree. Fang Yuan was starting to see its true profundity and depth. All along, I thought that food path most excelled in feeding GU and reducing the burden on the GU cultivator. But the truth is, this is only one advantage of food path. The true power of food path is to help the GU cultivator gain extra Dao marks and raise their foundation. The advantage of food path was to sustain the livelihood of the GU cultivator and GU worms, while also using specific methods to make the target even stronger than before. Fang Yuan had Wisdom Path Great Grand Master attainment level. His Wisdom Path deductions were elevated to a new level. Thus, Fang Yuan could deduce all sorts of food path killer moves from just these recipes alone. Food path had a huge difference compared to other paths. Most food path killer moves were used on the user themselves. Fang Yuan had a lot of immortal materials. If he expended them to form food path killer moves that were used on the sovereign immortal body, he would gain a vast number of Dao marks. Fang Yuan estimated, if I compare the benefits, annexing Grotto Heavens gives me the most Dao marks. Each time, I will gain millions of them. But now that the sovereign immortal aperture is reaching its peak capacity, the balance of the habitat is already close to toppling. If I continue with that, I will start to experience unfavorable losses instead. Using these food path killer moves to increase my Dao marks might have small gains each time, but with enough attempts, I can also accumulate a huge amount of Dao marks. Additionally, to prepare for Crazed Demon Cave, I need to create some defensive food path methods against Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Spectral Soul's killer moves, Bitter Taste and Swallow Loss, left a huge impression on Fang Yuan. He could not ignore them. At the same time, because food path was not popularized, ordinary GU immortals could not effectively defend against it. Thus, if Fang Yuan developed some food path offensive methods, there might be great results too. Fang Yuan held expectations towards food path, but the extent was not big. Because his enemies in Crazed Demon Cave were either Star Constellation Immortal Venerable or Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. The latter's proficiency at food path was definitely higher than Fang Yuan, while the former had Wisdom Path Quasi-Supreme Grand Master attainment. The former leader of Heavenly Court, how could she falter so easily against food path? The enemies are too strong. Food path is only a minor method, it cannot be used on that stage. But development is still necessary. I need to have defense against it at least. When I fight against Spectral Soul again, I will not be disadvantaged in food path anymore. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan gave his Time Path clone new missions to refine another batch of immortal GU. During this period of time, the Time Path clone had been using 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool to refine rank 8 immortal GU without pausing. A large number of immortal GU that Fang Yuan possessed had already been elevated to rank 8. 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool had a terrifying success rate for refining rank 8 immortal GU. Together with his huge stock of immortal materials and rank 8 heavenly essence treasure imperial lotus, immortal essence, there was nothing that could stop Fang Yuan from refining rank 8 GU in bulk. Most of his immortal GU were rank 8 already. The time path clone started to have free time, he refined some rank 6 or 7 immortal GU as well. Fang Yuan had a vast number of immortal GU recipes. These immortal GU recipes mostly came from Langya sect, while a portion came from his various inheritances. Even without immortal GU recipe, with Fang Yuan's increasingly powerful wisdom path methods and quasi-supreme Grand Master refinement path attainment level, he could also create his own with some casual deductions. Earlier, the time path clone had already refined a batch of theft path immortal GU. Most of these immortal GU were rank 6, a few were elevated to rank 7. 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool could refine rank 8 immortal GU in bulk, those rank 6 and 7 immortal GU were simply too easy in comparison. The only thing stopping Fang Yuan was the fact that immortal GU were unique. In this world, GU immortals had to make immense preparations until they reached their limit to refine immortal GU, after all that hardship and difficulty, they might not even succeed. The success rate was just too low. If anyone found out that Fang Yuan was refining GU like this, they would be in disbelief and shock. The truth was, 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool was something that surpassed the limits of any GU immortal's imagination. As for the theft path immortal GU that he refined, Fang Yuan used them to reconstruct Thieves' Den. The previous Thieves' Den immortal GU house had been used too many times, it was the original version made by Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, it was no longer suited for Fang Yuan. Thus, Fang Yuan used it as the foundation to modify and make adjustments. Even so, he was mainly focusing on repairing and replenishing lacking GU worms, he made few modifications. After all, this immortal GU house came from Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, be it structure or killer moves, it was close to being perfect. Fang Yuan could modify it because the eras had changed, new GU worms were developed that suited Thieves' Den even more. Cooking Luck Pot, Thieves' Den, and Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress, these were the 3 main immortal GU houses that Fang Yuan focused on. With Fang Yuan's current refinement ability, he could definitely reconstruct Dragon Palace and Myriad Year Flying Warship. But thinking about it, Fang Yuan wisely chose to give up on them. These 2 immortal GU houses had been used too many times, everyone knew about their information, they were also peak creations that had little room for modification. If Fang Yuan rebuilt them and used them in battle, they would definitely be countered. Ordinary enemies were still fine, but Crazed Demon Cave had Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, there could even be Limitless Demon Venerable. If Di Zhangsheng were still enslaved under Fang Yuan, there was still a bit of value in Dragon Palace. Unfortunately, Di Zhangsheng was sealed by Heavenly Court, if Fang Yuan attacked Heavenly Court for it, he would waste a lot of effort and time, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would have more opportunities to make her moves. Rather than rebuilding immortal GU houses, I should design new ones. And the new immortal GU houses that I conceptualize should revolve around my combat system as well. Qi Ancestor had already been preparing his own combat system, Fang Yuan was also facing the same difficult question. Against Venerables, I need to have an outstanding combat system. It is a pity that Duke Long is dead while Demon Immortal Qi Ju is sealed, without them as my grindstones, I will have a lack of experience in creating my combat system. Fang Yuan had always been considering his own combat systems. He actually wanted some people with equivalent battle strength to show up so that he could have the inspiration to make a mature combat system. Currently, Fang Yuan's most mature combat systems were Sword Path and Time Path, he used them during the Fate War. Now that he gained rank 8 Fortitude GU and Ability GU, he might be able to create a combat system around Strength Path as well. BZZZBZZZBZZZ. Cooking Luck Pot started to vibrate. Oh, Fang Yuan raised his head and observed his own luck as well as those of his clones. Soon, his expression became quite peculiar. On the surface of his silver-white pillar of light, many small gray clouds formed. Fang Yuan observed them carefully, he soon found that these external clouds came from Li Xiaobai. The luck of other clones was tranquil, but Li Xiaobai's luck was changing intensely. Fang Yuan deduced internally, so Li Xiaobai is undergoing immortal ascension. Looking at how his luck is changing, he is going to have a small problem. But why does this problem involve my main body? And looking at this, it has a huge relationship with me. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. Thunder rumbled and lightning flashed, the sky was covered in dark tribulation clouds. Li Xiaobai was dressed in white and he floated in the air, a thick cocoon of triple chi layers covered his entire body. Li Xiaobai was at the crucial moment of his immortal ascension. Xiaobai, you must persevere. Su Qihan was very worried, she stared at him with a fixed gaze, at the person whom she loved dearly. Boom! A pale green lightning ball shot down from the dark clouds with a trail behind it, approaching Li Xiaobai. Su Qihan shouted in shock. At the crucial moment, Li Xiaobai used his killer move and created a poem wall that blocked the lightning ball. This Li Xiaobai is actually able to balance the 3 chi while blocking the tribulation with relative ease. Far away, a young-looking man stared with eerie eyes, gritting his teeth. If you really become an immortal, then I, Du Ji Xiao, will never be able to make it big. Oh Li Xiaobai, blame yourself for being too outstanding. Being born in the same era as you is truly the misfortune of everyone who is forced to be a side character. The young man Du Ji Xiao said while shooting out a wave of grey smoke. The grey smoke floated up and entered the tribulation cloud, causing it to become turbulent as the clouds rumbled intensely, shooting out 3 pale green lightning balls in response. What is happening? Someone made a move. Su Qihan watched as her eyes turned red. Xiaobai is in danger. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2120 From today onwards, you are the poet immortal. 2120 From today onwards, you are the poet immortal. Seeing that the tribulation lightning was about to hit Li Xiaobai, Su Qihan flew into the sky. She charged up relentlessly, wanting to sacrifice herself to block the lightning. Sigh, this foolish daughter. A figure suddenly appeared, stopping Su Qihan. Su Qihan saw the person who came and became joyful and surprised, shouting, Father. He was the current dynasty's imperial minister Su, a rank 7 GU immortal of profound literature Grotto Heaven. Li Xiaobai is my son-in-law, why would I let him die on his own? Just be patient and watch, don't create trouble. Imperial Minister Su consoled Su Qihan while sighing internally. Truly, daughters would leave the parents to be with their husbands eventually. Even though Imperial Minister Su appreciated Li Xiaobai's aptitude, he was against Li Xiaobai's actions. Originally, Imperial Minister Su wanted Li Xiaobai to marry into his family and to impart him Su clan's inheritance, so that Li Xiaobai could undergo a mortal ascension and become an official in the imperial court. He would progress smoothly and become a support pillar of Su clan. But Li Xiaobai continued to wander outside and gather more knowledge. He did not want to become an official. This action made Imperial Minister Su very unhappy. Minister Su had made his attempts to recruit him in the past, but Li Xiaobai's vision was too broad. Why would he care about the small imperial court within profound literature Grotto Heaven? He was Gu Fang Yuan's clone, he had grand ambitions. This profound literature Grotto Heaven could not hold him down. Even though this lad does not know what's good for him, he is still a Su clan member, the man that my daughter loves. Even though he is too rash and undergoing tribulation this time and does not know fear, I need to protect him. Imperial Minister Su sighed deeply, waving his robe, a bright rainbow shot out, blocking the 3 pale green lightning balls. Damn it, damn it. Imperial Minister Su came after all. Du Ji Xiao watched with and shuddered in anger. He screamed internally with indignance. Li Xiaobai, you are simply too lucky, such a great person actually defended you. I hate it, I hate everything about you. Du Ji Xiao watched as his plans were about to fail. Right at this moment, a figure appeared on his left. This figure appeared from the sky. It was clearly a GU immortal. The masked GU immortal charged towards Imperial Minister Su. Imperial Minister Su had to fight against him. He showed anger on his face. Come. I have many political enemies, which one of them are you? You have such methods. The masked GU immortal spoke in a hoarse voice. Imperial Minister Su, you understand it as well. Your son-in-law is exceptional but he is simply too dazzling. It is better if your Su clan is not so strong. Don't even think of helping him now. Someone is helping me. Ha ha ha, great, wonderful. Du Ji Xiao was slightly stunned before becoming extremely happy. He started to jump around in joy. Father, Su Qihan shouted from the ground, help Xiaobai. Boom, the tribulation lightning struck again. Li Xiaobai had to use his killer move and create a poem wall. Du Ji Xiao screamed wildly, don't even think of blocking it. Grey smoke appeared from his body again, raising the power of the tribulation. The poem wall was broken by the tribulation lightning, but most of its might was blocked. Only the pale green fire was left on Li Xiaobai's body, burning him. Xiaobai, Su Chi-han was deeply shocked. She charged towards him without second thoughts. Since she could not resolve this problem, she would rather die together with Li Xiaobai. But at the crucial moment, Li Xiaobai's hand pushed out of the cocoon. He waved at Su Chi-han. Don't be rash. In this situation, in this danger, I gained a surge of inspiration. I have a feeling, I have the urge to recite a poem. What? Su Chi-han was stunned. Imperial Minister Su and the masked Gu Immortal also froze halfway through their fight. Imperial Minister Su could not help but turn to look. The reason was that in the current dynasty and mortal world, there were many rumors of Li Xiaobai surviving fatal danger by creating and reciting poems spontaneously. Again, I want to see if you have the ability to surpass the might of heaven itself. Du Jixiao had an extremely grim and dark expression. In the past, he had an overwhelming advantage with victory in sight. In the end, because of Li Xiaobai's poem, he turned the situation around and won. This experience became the great psychological trauma of Du Jixiao's life. Everyone listened attentively as Li Xiaobai recited. Under the pine trees I ask of a disciple. He replies, his master had gone to gather herbs. Somewhere in the mountain he was for certain. Within the dense clouds, his figure is hidden. A chain of black characters flew out of Li Xiaobai's mouth, becoming 4 segments that revolved around him. A few breaths later, the poem turned into dense smoke that moved turbulently around him. The pale green fire on Li Xiaobai's body got completely absorbed into the smoke. With a soft sound, the white clouds vanished while the pale green fire was extinguished, no longer able to obstruct Li Xiaobai. Du Jixiao was dumbfounded. Imperial Minister Su praised immediately. Good poem, good poem. The diction is concise and straightforward, the words used can stir deep emotions, there is profundity in its plainness. To describe complex feelings with simple words, yet the sentiments are sincere and exciting. Su Chi-han raised her hands to her chest and looked up at Li Xiaobai, her eyes shining with adoration. Xiaobai is truly a genius. The poem is free of flashy descriptions and feels very natural, but has vivid descriptions and appropriate intensity. Green pines and white clouds. The green and lush pines contain unparalleled vitality, the vast white clouds are thick and dense, remote and elusive, it makes one think of the autumn waters and beautiful women that remain as figures within the fog. It's so beautiful, this poem and its meaning is really too beautiful. The masked Gu Immortal laughed. I understand now. Li Xiaobai, you are a true secluded genius, the white clouds in the poem show your high purity, the pines represent your upright attitude. You want to get away from the mundane mortal realm and go to the world of pines and clouds that is beyond. I was simply worrying for nothing, how can a person like you lower yourself to the imperial court? Forget it, I'm leaving. With talent like yours, if you die, it is the loss of the entire world in terms of poetry development. I don't want to be a sinner whose rotten reputation goes down in history. As the masked Gu Immortal said that, he turned around and left. Imperial Minister Su, who had a complex expression, was left behind. He left, he let him go just like that. Du Jixiao spat out a mouthful of blood, he stumbled backwards for a few steps, barely controlling himself and not falling over. This happened again, another person was convinced by Li Xiaobai's literary talent once again. I am indignant, I am not convinced, this is the treatment that I should receive instead. Ah! Du Jixiao screamed madly as grey smoke appeared from his body again. At the same time, Du Jixiao's appearance turned old, he went from a young man to a middle-aged man. The grey smoke floated to the air and was discovered by Imperial Minister Su. You are the one causing trouble. Du Jixiao, the former #1 scholar in the world, to think you would act so despicably. Du Jixiao smiled bitterly. #1 scholar in the world. I am no longer #1, I will reclaim this title personally. Imperial Minister Su called out. It seems that I am forced to kill you today. Wishful thinking. Another person flew over from the right of Du Jixiao. This Gu Immortal was also masked. Another person is helping me. Du Jixiao was overjoyed. The masked Gu Immortal fought against Imperial Minister Su, who was helpless to intervene anymore, watching as the grey smoke flew into the tribulation cloud. The tribulation's power rose again, 3 pale lightning balls shot towards Li Xiaobai. Imperial Minister Su was very angry. I have many political enemies, which one of them are you? The masked Gu Immortal smiled coldly. So what if you manage to guess it? Your son-in-law cannot block this tribulation cloud, he is dead meat. Xiaobai, Su Chi-han shouted again, her voice was filled with agony, her expression was of despair. But Li Xiaobai waved his hand again. In this situation, in this danger, I gained a surge of inspiration. I have a feeling, I have the urge to recite a poem again. What? Again? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Du Jishao shook his head in madness. Imperial Minister Su was still worried. Stimulation from danger can allow a GU cultivator to gain a burst of inspiration and create a work that is divine and change his situation for the better. This has happened many times in the history of the current dynasty, but such situations often use up the GU cultivator's potential. It cannot be forced. Li Xiaobai is in danger. Xiaobai, I believe you, quickly recite it. Su Qihan was filled with confidence. Li Xiaobai coughed once, sighing internally. He did not want to keep a high profile, but there was no helping it. His methods could not resist the tribulation alone. He had to rely on profound literature Grotto Heaven's killer move, assisting literary talents. This killer move was used by profound literature Grotto Heaven's original owner. As long as the Grotto Heaven existed, it would be effective. As long as a purebred human created or recited outstanding poems or writings of any kind, they would obtain recognition and reward from this Grotto Heaven. Earlier, because of Li Xiaobai's poem, he was rewarded and the pale green fire was extinguished. Thus, Li Xiaobai recited again. Over 1,000 hills with no birds in flight. The myriad paths had not one footprint in sight. A straw hat man sits in a small lone boat. Fishing alone in the cold frozen moat. Once the poem was recited, the tribulation lightning dispersed. The effect was simply too good. Good poem, this is a divine poem. Fishing alone in the frozen water, it is eerily quiet and chilly cold. Comparing 1,000 hills in a lone fishing boat, the absolute contrast produces absolutely breathtaking effects. In this backdrop, the intense yin produces yang instead. A reverse reaction occurs and the fishing action becomes full of vitality and vivid movement. Everything becomes crystal clear, showing the poet's clean inner heart, surpassing the mortal realm and having pride that is transcendent to all. I get it now, I really understand now. Li Xiaobai, you never wanted to be an official from the start. You have such incredible talent, I really cannot bring myself to kill you. I am leaving. The second masked GU Immortal sighed with deep emotions. He praised intensely before leaving. Cough. Du Jishao coughed out another mouthful of blood, falling to the ground. This again, this again. I know his poems are good, really good, but that makes my heart hurt even more. I am really sick of such praises, it is disgustingly sickening. I want you to die, I want you to die. Du Jishao summoned the gray smoke again, turning from a middle-aged man to an old man. Li Xiaobai was faced with a crisis again. Is there really a point in this? Li Xiaobai was really troubled. I need to recite another poem now. He did not want to do that, it was too flashy and outstanding. It would cause suspicions. Thus, before he became renowned in the world, Li Xiaobai controlled himself and only recited 2 poems. During the tribulation now, he recited another 2 new poems. It seemed that he was about to recite yet another, new, poem now. I really can't do anything about you, fine, I'll recite it. Li Xiaobai looked at Du Jishao who was lying on the ground. He felt very helpless about this situation too. Li Xiaobai recited loudly. The sun beyond the mountain glows. The yellow river seawards flows. One can enjoy a grander sight by climbing to a greater height. Li Xiaobai's crisis was alleviated, the tribulation clouds dispersed, his 3 chi exploded into a new immortal aperture, he became an information path GU Immortal. Oh heaven, since I was born, why did you create Li Xiaobai? Du Jishao shouted loudly in incomparable grief. He had a look of sadness, anger, helplessness, and hatred as he took his last breath. From today onwards, you are poet immortal Li Xiaobai. Imperial Minister Su flew to Li Xiaobai with a complex expression. He sighed. The younger generations will surpass us in time. I had underestimated you all along. I wanted to make you an official of the imperial court, but your aspirations are too grand. Compared to you, I am a mere commoner. It is truly laughable. From today onwards, go ahead and roam the world as you please, just don't let down my daughter. What? Li Xiaobai opened his mouth. He wanted to say that being an official was a good idea, he could have resources and a larger network. But his poem had already been recited, his aspirations were shown. Thus, Li Xiaobai had to say, Father-in-law, don't worry, I will protect honor. Li Xiaobai and Imperial Minister Su descended to the ground. My husband, you are too amazing. Your talent is vast as the sea, it cannot be estimated through logic anymore. Su Qihan sprinted towards Li Xiaobai. Imperial Minister Su heard his daughter's words and felt a little uncomfortable internally, but he could not refute these words. After all, he had just witnessed the situation earlier with his own eyes. Li Xiaobai rubbed his nose, thinking that he had created too big of a commotion this time. He had to go along with the flow. To speak the truth, ever since I was born, I had always felt that I was different from the rest. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible.